Scotty's family in attendance as we get set for the Flyers and the Oilers. And no joking, tons of Flyer fans here. Lots of orange at Rexall Place as the Flyers and Oilers play here. Only the 5th time in the last decade these teams have hooked up in this building.
Let's take a look at our key starting goaltenders for the Philadelphia Flyers. Steve Mason back in goal again. And the big story, Ilya Bryzgalov in goal for the Edmonton Oilers. He did not play last night in a shutout win for the Edmonton Oilers against the Calgary Flames. It was Devan Dubnyk. Bryzgalov gets to start against his old team and should make for an interesting story as this game moves along.
Briz notably quiet leading up to this game. They did not have a full skate this morning to the Oilers because they played last night. But no media availability for Briz. I have a feeling, especially if he wins this game, he'll be talking after the game, however.
Yes.
Underway, this 6-game road trip for the Flyers as they wear their road whites, home blues for the Oilers. Claude Giroux out, taking a hit. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as he moves the puck ahead, and the Flyer line combinations appear at the top of your screen. Flyers, of course, with that 4-2 win over the Oilers back in early November in Philadelphia, which was the start of their turnaround, and certainly the beginning of the resurgence of Claude Giroux offensively. Coburn here, a turnover. Taylor Hall to steal the shot, and he scores! Taylor Hall, just 32 seconds in, steals the puck from Coburn and pots his 15th.
Well, we talked about the work ethic of Taylor Hall, and right there you can see he came in with a real deep forecheck, strips the puck off Coburn, and then all of a sudden has the opportunity to be able to take that puck, but watch his response with a quick shot up over Mason's shoulder.
It's the steal of the puck, and it's the finish at the end with a couple of the talented Edmonton Oilers forwards. You can't turn pucks over, and Craig Berube talked about it coming into this game, and Braden Coburn as a blunder to start this one.
8 goals, 7 assists for Hall in his last 13 games, and this is 13th of that stretch just getting underway. He is blossoming as we speak, and many feel he could become one of the top 5 players in the league if he's not ready there as he has been playing so long. In fact, could be headed towards Sochi as that backhander by Gagne is handled by Mason, and will have a face-off to his right. And for a 22-year-old, Taylor Hall, to be on the Olympic team would be quite an honor.
It would be, and you can see the speed that he brings. Imagine him on that big ice, on the Olympic ice surface. A little more space for Taylor Hall to wind up, and the Flyers have to be aware when a young, talented player scores early in a game, you got to keep your eye on him moving forward. It'd be pretty confident here in the early going.
And the Flyers have to be ready as the Oilers already having played a game after the Christmas break, and the Flyers getting their first action. They've had 2 practices. Full practice yesterday, although a couple players sat out because of the flu, and the morning skate today for the Flyers, but that's not game action. And so the first part of this game, you might expect some rustiness from the Flyers, and I think we saw a little bit of it right there from Braden Coburn. Now the Flyers moving up. And here is Schenn moving in. He'll wind and fire, and Bryzgalov had no idea where the puck was. Made the save. He was still thinking the puck was in his equipment as the puck was fired back into the slot. Now it's Simmons centering, but nobody home for Philadelphia. Boyd Gordon took care of that for Edmonton. He now has the puck, and he'll send the pop fly to the neutral zone. Batted down by Grossman, but played into the Philadelphia zone by the Oilers. Hemsky moving on in, and Mason meets him at the side of the net as Streit was able to stay with him. Now back the other way go the Flyers as out of Hall trying to recover from the flu. Gets the puck in. Steve Downey on for his first chip. Zach Rinaldo, a big hit. Hall, the shot and the save. Bryzgalov will hang on. Big hit by Rinaldo, setting up that shot by Hall.
Well, here's the speed of Taylor Hall. As you can see on that forecheck, he's in. He's going to circle back, and he's thinking of every opportunity to steal the puck. And you can see he kind of sneaks in there on Braden Coburn before he grabs it, and then the quickness to beat Mason to the glove side.
Well, this is an example right here on this shot that Bryzgalov, you want to shoot the puck on him because he's obviously got to be nervous. I mean, he's playing. This is a big thing for him. So get the shots on him. If he loses his confidence, it could be a big part for this hockey team.
His numbers are decent, but in his last 2 starts, he has given up some pretty bad goals. Here's Everly with a backhander, and Mason just got a piece of it. An early indication again of the speed of the Oilers right there. Now Lecavalier the other way will send the puck in. Sean Couturier after it. Couturier wins the battle, gets the puck to LeCavalier. Left untended behind the net. Tried to center. It's blocked back to him by Ference, and it skips to the corner. Flyers aggressively after that. His team and jabs it through to Couturier. He's knocked down from behind by Justin Schultz, and they get the puck out to the neutral zone. And the Oilers move up. Everly into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn back. And he'll backhand it around and all the way up to LeCavalier, who takes the puck and flips quickly to Couturier. Right back to LeCavalier. To the high slot, and then he deals to Reed. Matt Reed takes the puck behind the net. Gagne has him pinned, so Reed will sling it back out to the point. Mazaros is there. Back down low. Couturier knocks it down. Spins with it. Some of his mates are heading off on a change. Couturier just backhanding that along for Reed. He's checked and taken down by Nick Schultz. And now the Oilers have it, and they'll move it ahead. Just over 3 minutes in from Rexall Place in Edmonton. Glad you could join us on the Comcast Network for the Flyers and Oilers. The Raffle in after a loose puck momentarily. Couldn't come up with it. Now he has it. He's checked, but Voracek picks it up. Voracek all the way around. Centers it. And it went on through. Giroux didn't see it. And back the other way. Hall looking to break. Couldn't handle it cleanly. And now he'll move after the puck as David Perron sent it into the Philadelphia zone. But instead it's Luke Schenn. He'll play it in center. Jab right back to the Philadelphia line. There's Mazaros off Raffle stick. Voracek speeds to the puck. Voracek angle shot off the outside of the post. And Brizgalov appeared to be falling away from that post. Here's Raffle back behind the net, hoping for Giroux. Sidesteps a check, but then got hooked ever so slightly. That took him off the play, and Hall will move the puck to Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins, a nice cut at the line. The shot, score! Well, the two blue chippers for the Oilers on the board early. Hall, and now Nugent Hopkins. 2-0 Edmonton.
The skill of the young Oilers coming to the forefront here in the first few minutes of this game. One-on-one here against Mark Streit, and the little move there by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets enough separation. The quick shot there that Mason can't come up with the save on.
Well, what happens? Watch when Streit gets beat, then all of a sudden now Mason's got to adjust. He gets out to the top of the goal crease area into the butterfly. He just got a piece of it. You can see it hit his arm and then go up into the corner of the net. But what a move by Nugent-Hopkins, turning Streit right around.
Yeah, the Oilers looking for more. Hemsky makes a dazzling move and then try to pass. It's kicked out of there by Mason after it deflected in on him. Now the other way goes Scott Hartnell to center, a 3-on-2. Hartnell, though, slowing down, drops it back for Schenn. His shot goes high and wide of Brizgalov. Puck lifted up and out to center ice. Catching up to it is Ryan Smith, the veteran, 37 years of age. Scored both goals for the Oilers last night. He flipped one in, and Mason, the easy save on that one. Braden Schenn, the left wing feed for Hartnell. Back and forth we go. Hartnell given some room. Flyers won it, deflects high, and a couple of Flyers go past it. And Anton Lander will move it ahead. Here's Nail Yakupov, another #1 overall for the Oilers, but he is stopped, and the puck sent all the way down by Philadelphia, and that is icing. And the scratches from the Lions brought to you by Virtua. Gustafson out for the time being for the Flyers with a knee injury. Rose, Hill, Gill, and Vandeveldy are healthy scratches. So on the list for the Oilers. Couple injuries there, but a relatively healthy team.
Well, Taylor Hall, #1 pick. Nugent Hopkins. You probably just, anytime something happens, it's the #1 draft pick. But what a move by Nugent Hopkins. I mean, he just absolutely just cut. It looked like he went straight left. And that's what really caught Streit, because he was moving one way and Nugent Hopkins went the other.
Streit did recover to some degree, and really expect your goaltender to make that save. I know Steve Mason expects to make that save. He has not played well in this building. 1-3 in his career against the Oilers here at Rexall Place with a high goals against average. And sometimes you can start to let that get into your head.
He's going to have to make a couple saves here on the next Oilers 8 quality opportunities, or Craig Berube is going to be thinking about making a change in goal here with the way the Edmonton Oilers have started this game and the way the Flyers have been sitting back a little too much.
Downey to Mazaros across for Luke Schenn. He'll wrist one deflected, but it goes high off the glass and skips out of play. The face-off will go out to center ice. Coatsy mentioned the two #1 overalls that have scored. Nugent Hopkins, another first overall. 10 first-round picks on this Oilers team. 8 of them are Oiler picks, and several of them very high, as you can see. And a lot of teams have used that blueprint. The Penguins, the Caps, perhaps to some degree, to turn things around. The Blackhawks, you get those high picks, and and you turn it around, but it hasn't happened for the Oilers. They've gone 7 straight years without a playoff spot. Do you see the turnaround coming?
I thought it was going to come before this season. I'm surprised how poorly they have played. You're starting to look for those important pieces to surround those young stars with, some of the veteran presence. Ryan Smith probably past his prime now. I'm not sure that you want to rely heavily on him if you're Dallas Eakins, but a young coach coming in with this team that's got some great ideas, speaks very well, but so far the message hasn't got through to the Edmonton Oilers, although they have played a little better over the last few games.
Well, one thing for sure, you got to slow them down. If that's not evident here in the first 6 minutes of hockey, where they're just flying through the neutral zone, and that's where they're getting all the problems for the Flyers' defense by the time they hit the blue line.
The Flyers get to the puck here. Couturier moving it ahead to LeCavalier. Part of the adjustment when you come to Edmonton, besides adjusting to frigid temperatures outside, the ice surface here very fast, very quick, and I do think that had something to do with Coburn's giveaway. It's a little bit of a different game, Jonesy. Even from up here, it looks as though it's moving more quickly.
But it's a big advantage for Edmonton playing last night, which you talked about after the Christmas break. This is a 10 minutes process. You follow it every 10 minutes, you're going to see a different game for the Flyers, just based upon the fact that they had some time off. This game will change.
Just settle down a little bit. That's all you got to do.
Flyers in the offensive zone here. Grossman is shot. Brizgalov makes the save and is able to cover. A little pushing and shoving right in the crease. Couturier getting a couple shots in there. We'll be back. The first one came back on November the 9th in Philadelphia. Jay Rosehill got the Flyers on the board. And then the Flyers continued to score. This was a big goal. Claude Giroux's first of the season, making it 3-1. Taylor Hall did get the Oilers back within 1. Steve Mason had to protect that lead. They got another goal. The Flyers, Vinny LeCavalier from the angle. And then Mason holding forth the rest of the way. The Flyers getting the win. That was the game after they had the closed-door meeting following a shutout loss to New Jersey. And since that game, the Flyers have played very well and have climbed all the way into the 3rd, 4th position in the Metropolitan Division. The Oilers have had their ups and downs. Overall series, relatively even, although the Flyers 0-3-1 in their last 4 trips here. They've not won here since 2001. They haven't been here a lot, but when they have come, unsuccessful ventures. They're going to have to come from behind to change that, as they're down 2-0 here. Just about 7 minutes into the first period. Puck rattling around at the Philadelphia line, and there's an offside call.
Well, you can rekindle the rivalry as the Phantoms take on the Hershey Bears on Saturday, February the 1st at 1 p.m. Tickets start at just $10 for great American Hockey League action at the Wells Fargo Center. Stop in and catch the boys going at it. That was an amazing rivalry back in the day.
Indeed it was. Plenty of orange and black, as we mentioned, in attendance here at Rexall Place. The skate this morning looked almost like an open practice. They opened it up and let people come in to watch the Flyers. A lot of orange and black. Always wanted the Flyers autographs. Oilers move up here. The talented Alex Hensky holding on. Cross ice shot goes wide from Beloff, the defenseman. And now the Flyers look to get it back, and will, as Braden Coburn will move it ahead. His pass ahead for Hartnell, but he's disrupted by the rookie defenseman Martin Marincin, who's playing his 3rd game of the season, first since being called up due to an injury to Corey Potter. Offside again at the Philadelphia line.
Look at Boyd Gordon. He's having a pretty good season for the Edmonton Oilers since coming over from the Phoenix Coyotes, originally drafted by the Washington Capitals, and very strong on face-offs. Was brought in to try to fit in around some of those young stars and provide some balanced scoring and some good sound defensive play. I think he's done his job pretty well.
He was given a 3-year deal at $3 million per, and a lot of people said that's a lot of money for a checking setter, but he's very good, as you mentioned, on draws, and this is pretty much what this team needed. They have so many scorers. They need more of those complementary kind of players, don't they?
Yeah, and he's still in his prime, too. It's not in the situation where it's, a player that's near the end of his career that stops by. It's not the type of players that the Edmonton Oilers need right now.
Giroux moving up. Giroux looking for Raffl. That one sifts on through to the corner. Mazzaro is in on the play, but it goes to Perron instead. He could not get it out of the zone. Voracek with a pass. Raffl tried to return it to him, but it hit his leg and bounced the other way, and now the Oilers will move it ahead. Nugent Hopkins up the middle. It's a 3-on-2. His left wing feed is to Petrie, the defenseman. Back to Nugent Hopkins. Centering pass blocked off by Giroux. Giroux then finishes Nugent Hopkins and gets the puck, and then he's run at by Hall. Spins off that check, got the puck to Downey. Downey run at by Perron as this one gets a little testy. Leave Downey out with Hall and Ronaldo. Fourth line duty to start here. That pass ahead. Grossman ties a man up, penalty. He took Jordan Eberle down. And the Oilers will go to the power play. They want a penalty shot here. Eberle is complaining to the referee. And perhaps should be a penalty shot, but just a penalty at this point.
Almost an alley-oop type pass through the neutral zone that landed perfectly for Jordan Eberle, and Grossman was in a difficult spot and was forced to pull down another highly skilled young Edmonton Oiler. There's the pass right there from Sam Gagner, and there's the play by Eberle to get loose momentarily before Grossman pulls him down.
So the Oilers with the first power play of the game, and that is what led to it. Now Matt Reed is stealed. The Oilers have had some issues on the power play, although they're middle of the pack for the year, but 3 for their last 26 over the last 8 games. And they've given up 8 shorthanded goals, which is by far the most in the NHL. So sometimes you can catch them pinching and end up with a break the other way.
They do play 4 forwards on the first power play unit here, and maybe that plays into some of the opportunities that you can get against their young defense.
Flyers after the puck here. Hall will jab it into the Edmonton zone. Preston Schultz goes back to get it. Drafted by Anaheim, chose not to sign there, became a free agent, and chose Edmonton. We're very proud of that here. As the puck comes to Ryan Smith. Well, without a penalty clock in the building, we're sort of waiting on perhaps the public address to let us know how much time is remaining on the power play. It's Raffl getting a little room and then decides to take it back out, rag, and waste time off the power play before sending it into the Edmonton zone. A little less than a minute remaining in the power play. Yakupov gets the puck into the zone. Lazarus, Nugent Hopkins, Schenn, all in the vicinity. Luke Schenn on the backhand, got it out to the neutral zone.
Boy, that was a great job by Luke Schenn because he was surrounded by Edmonton Oilers. He had to look up over his shoulder and to be able to get it up high. That was the key to get that out of the zone.
Into the final 30 seconds of the man advantage. Reed tips, but Nugent Hopkins digs it off the wall. Lays it back to Petrie. And now the Pashtahenski looking for Yakupov in the slot, but it was broken up by Reed. Hemsky has it back. Tried to center, blocked by Mazaros, who then tries to clear but couldn't get much on it. Reed to the puck, backhands, it's blocked. Mazaros another try, and he'll backhand it all the way down. That will take care of the power play. Out of the box jumps Grossman. And Jeff Petrie back to get the puck for Edmonton. 2-0 Oilers. We passed the midpoint of the first period. 5-3 the shots in favor of Edmonton. We passed that 10-minute mark. We'll see if the Flyers have gotten their legs, taken the rust out, gotten used to the ice here in Edmonton and all that. This will be icing against Edmonton. And so face off into the offensive zone. Get Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know the latest on all your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app now.
Michael Raffl killing off that penalty. The Flyers do a nice job. He'll sit on this shift with Giroux and Voracek out there with Steve Downey, who gets an opportunity to jump up and play a shift on the top line.
And off the draw, bounces off the linesman. Downey to Voracek for a shot that sails high to the court. That's deflected away. Strike. Backhands it in along. Downey trying to win that battle and does. Got the puck to Giroux. Spinning it in on goal. Scala put the paddle down to knock it away. Now Giroux, checked by Ferentz, knocked down, still got the puck to Grossman, whose shot is blocked by Gordon, who then tips it ahead to Eberle. 2-on-2 with Smith. Eberle to the Philadelphia line, marked by Grossman, spins back. Then finds Smith, turning himself with the puck. No backhand to Eberle, but he couldn't hang on. Grossman plays it ahead, and the Flyers will move up. Here's Voracek. Gains the line, cuts around, gets some space, takes the shot. Brizgalov to save, and he's able to cover on the loose puck. It's still 2-0 Edmonton here in the first. Our good at Mercy University game notes for tonight. Well, how about the schedule for this road trip? We'll run that down for you. And, of course, the World Juniors now underway. There's the schedule, Jonesy. Comcast Sportsnet for the next 4 after tonight, and then back on the Comcast Network for the finale in New Jersey. And how about the World Juniors, Team USA 2-0 with a 6-3 win, and Team Canada loses in a shootout to the Czechs today.
Yeah, Scott Lawton picked up an assist in that game for Team Canada. Didn't play a lot, though, in the third period. Not sure that I saw him on the ice. I think I'd like to see him out there a little bit more.
I would too. I thought that the Czechs played really well, considering they got beat 5-1 by the United States to have their first game in the Junior Championship. But boy, they played well against Canada today.
He's Canadian. You can sense the concern in his voice.
Yes, he gets very upset.
The World Juniors in Canada is treated as a huge deal. I mean, they follow it very closely. Games get huge ratings, even when they're on in the morning, as was the case here in Edmonton today. Wayne Simmons wrapped up. Flyers fighting for the loose puck. Ruben Shen getting it back to his brother, and Luke's shot is batted away by Brizgalov. He's trying to settle into this one. Looked a little shaky early on. Hasn't been tested too much here over the last little while. Now Mazaris for the steal. Flyers look to go to the attack of the counter rush, but offside is the call. Hartnell apparently in the zone ahead of Mazaros.
I think you've seen some examples that the Flyers get on the defense of the Edmonton Oilers that they can be successful. But right now, they've had a hard time keeping the puck deep. A lot of one and outs. And once they get their legs, like Jonesy talked about, I think you're going to see some change in this game.
You would think that penalty kill should give them a little bit of energy here, too. And I expect a little push here for the Flyers in the next couple of shifts.
Couturier stealing the puck. His shot, save, made, rebound. LeCavalier in front for Reed. He could not ram it home as there was lots in it to shoot at. Yoensuu, the former Islander, to the puck. Now pass up the middle, swatted away again, but gotten back by Beloff, and he'll move it ahead to Yoensuu. Yoensuu a wide fire, save Mason, big rebound, and right there is Stripe, the backhanded to the neutral zone, and he gets it back now. Flipped it to LeCavalier, but he was heading off on a change, and if he had played it, would have been too many men on the ice.
That was a heads-up play by LeCavalier because he saw it and just got out of the way as quickly as possible and jumped back onto the bench.
And there was that moment of hesitation.
Yes.
He went to play it and then said, oh no, I can't do this. And so we play on. Here's Tiemann.
It's where your bench can really help, too. Communication. A couple guys on the bench, I'm sure, were yelling to leave it. And Vinny did just that.
Ronaldo in on the forecheck, knocks Petrie down. Petrie lands on the puck. They fish it free. Here's Downey getting it in front. Flyers went hard to the net, but the puck went behind both Ronaldo and Hall, as Brizgalov had some contact to deal with. New Orleans will send the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn there takes the hit. Pretty high hit at that. The puck bounces out into the slot. Ronaldo will move it to center, and he's swarmed upon there. Coughed it up. Yakupov has it. Minus 25 on the year. Lowest in the NHL. And that pass meant the defenseman deflects off of Yakupov and goes out of play. 5:55 remaining in period number one.
Oilers up 2-0. Ilya Brizgalov with 8 saves in the early going. I can't say they've been the prettiest, so this one gets under the arm there and kind of slides past him. Forecheck's opportunity. He's kind of sliding off the angle, but he's able to retrieve that rebound opportunity. This one he kind of bounces across, and Matt Reed just misses a tap in there. He kicks that one out to the slot area and gets himself back up in the play. He's been okay, but the Flyers starting to get some chances against him. You can see his numbers against Philadelphia in his career. Pretty impressive 3-0 record.
His movement so far would tell me east-west.
Yeah.
East-west.
East-west. There he made a pretty good save on a redirected shot from the point as he got his blocker on now. Tiemann sending one toward the net and it changed direction on the way in. There's Ferentz. That Hall is checked. Voracek to the puck. Voracek goes wide to the left wing. All the way around. Centered it. It's in skate shot. And the save made. Raffl got it in on Brizgalov, and he's able to make the stop and cover. Let's have a look at our Dodge trivia question of tonight's game. 1987 Stanley Cup Finals between the Flyers and Oilers. Which Flyer was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy? Occasionally, we do give you a layup. I'd say this is a layup, but it's Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, or Mark Howe. We'll tell you the answer later on in the broadcast.
That might be a slam dunk, actually.
Yeah, if you don't get that, it's embarrassing.
Wow. There are some people that aren't as old as we are, you know. It might not.
Very true.
All right, I take it back.
Hartnell shot from the angle and the save by Brizgalov. It goes out through center and all the way down. Just over 5 minutes remaining. A turnover by Mazaros. The shot was blocked by Mazaros. as Gordon could not get that one through.
Boy, Mazaros did a great job of lining himself up, and as soon as Gordon dropped his shoulder or drops his head to be able to take that shot, Mazaros got right in front of him.
You're even more courageous to block the shot after you've turned the puck over.
That's called incentive.
Exactly right. There's a check by Mazaros, knocking down Hensky, and the Flyers get the puck. Braden Shen to Hartnell, back to Braden Shen. Luke's joining the rush, but offside goes Hartnell.
Second time in this period that Scott Hartnell's been a step quicker than his line mates. Mazaros had fired a long shot on Brizgalov earlier where Hartnell had just stepped over the line, and Craig Berube having a little chat with him there. You can see he picked up his 500th career NHL point against the Wild on Monday night in the Flyers 4-1 victory.
They'll drop the puck in the neutral zone. The Oilers control. Wensu could not come up with that. LeCavalier hesitated as he was thinking shot, then pass. Now it's Reed. Unchecked. To back out to Streit. Streit looking for a seam, and while he did so, he lost control. And here come the Oilers in transition where they're at their most dangerous. Sam Gagner taken out of the play by Reed. Grossman checked. Eberle knocked down. Got the puck to Gagner. Gagner right back to Eberle. And now it's Gagner. High slot shot. Blocked in front. And Reed will get to Streit. Streit takes a look. Had a little trouble with that puck again. You noticed this, Jonesy. Flyers been having trouble with that puck sliding away from him a couple of times in this game.
Twice in this shift, and then big contact there from Joensuu there on Nicholas Grossman.
The ice is really, really good, which is what it is all the time here in Edmonton.
Almost have to adjust your game, as we mentioned. Here's Hall stuffing it deep into the Edmonton zone. Oilers back to get it. Beloff crashed into Ronaldo. And they get called for a penalty on that hit. So the Oilers have control. Delayed call. They'll get Brizgalov to the bench. Mazaros plays the puck. There's your whistle. Ronaldo with the hit. They're going to call it a charge. We'll take a look.
Philadelphia penalty number 36, minor penalty for charging.
Referee was quick to put his arm up. Ronaldo and Downey both on the ice trying to get things going for the Philadelphia Flyers, and there's the contact there.
Brad Meyer's the guy that's going to make the call. I thought he actually took the steps around the goal line, then he glided, and I think that's why he was talking to Meyer, saying, whoa, hold on, that's not a charge. Look, you can still see the upset face of Ronaldo, and you can see the coach isn't happy with that one either.
Well, we talked about this. Peter Laviolette talked about this, that Zach, his hits, as the Oilers go right to work on this power play, they send players flying, and sometimes referees just can't figure out how a little guy like that does that, and they somehow assume that something illegal happened. There's a point shot, knocked away by Mason in front as Ryan Smith was looking for it. Ryan Smith still dangerous on the power play, just hangs right around the net. Looks for tap-ins, deflections. There he is, number 94. He'll roll it out to Hall. Hall trying to spin away from a check. Now he gets it to Eberle. Right to the point. Justin Schultz across to Hall. The shot! Save Mason. Rebound. Rattles around, but Flyers can't get control to clear it. And the Oilers will right back to work. Eberle to Schultz. Fumbled that pass, and Couturier decides to play it conservatively. Goes back into his own zone and across to Coburn. He'll wait as long as he can and fire one all the way down. Minute 5 remaining on the power play. 2:28 in the period. Nugent Hopkins. Adamski, and then broken up by Hall, who clears. Yakupov goes back to get to the puck. Back to getting some power play time for Yakupov. He had not been seeing a whole lot of that of late as he had been demoted to the fourth line. But he is a very skilled individual. Gets the puck in and chases here. Grossman gets to it first to Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn gets plenty of air underneath that and clears it all the way down.
Flyers doing a great job on the penalty kill. I mean, they're just in front of everybody for Edmonton. As soon as that puck goes to anybody, as far as puck carrying is concerned, they're being checked.
Oilers now will play one in. All the way around to Coburn. Coburn finds Giroux. Giroux outletting. Now Couturier moving up. 1-on-2. He's taken off the puck, but he follows up, and it's a hit on Petrie. Final 6 seconds of the power play into the final 90 of the period. Giroux trying to steal the puck from Yakupov, knocks him down. Flyers back to full strength. Giroux remains hunting for the puck, but the Oilers able to move it up. Nugent Hopkins across. Perron spinning. Tight quarters, flips one. Mason bats it away, but Hall gets to it. Hall then knockdown penalty. Strite will go, cross-checking the call. Flyers right back to a short-handed situation.
Well, tickets for the 2014 Frozen Four coming to the Wells Fargo Center April 10th and 12th are on sale now and are going fast. Tickets include access to 2 semifinal games and the national championship game. Buy online at ComcastTix.com. There's a penalty in front of you, Coach.
I got to look at this one again because it's got to be pretty drastic to get a cross-check. Let's see where his hands are. Oh, he extended his arms right at the last second. Taylor Hall goes down. I would imagine that probably wouldn't have been a penalty if Hall hadn't gone down, but as soon as you extend your arms like that, and Meyer's standing right there, it's hard to defend.
So the Oilers nearly back-to-back power plays here. Flyers clear it out to center ice. There's one area of the game that Craig Berube has harped on since taking over as head coach that the team has not improved on. It's been on a penalty. This is an offside, and boy, a fortuitous one for the Flyers because Hall was going full bore into the zone, but Ryan Smith was in the zone already, stopping play.
He was in the zone in the game last night, too, where he scored 2 goals for the Edmonton Oilers. He picked up the eventual game-winning goal early right there off his chest, and then he picked up another one on the empty netter to ice it for the Edmonton Oilers right there. A little swoop around, and he's playing first power play minutes now for Dallas Eakins after starting the season on the 4th line and at times up in the stands.
124 power play goals in his career as an Oiler. His next one ties a guy by the name of Wayne Gretzky.
Not bad.
That would be
Pretty
second
good company.
all-time. Glenn Anderson has one more than that, and he's the all-time leader. Anytime you get your name in with those dynastic Oilers, you're doing well, right?
Yeah, to say the least.
23 seconds remain in the period as Hall sends it in. And they get to it. Gagne got it in front and swing and a miss. Ryan Smith, not a baseball player evidently. Oh, Hall run at by Hall. Adam Hall by Taylor Hall. And he took as many steps as Ronaldo did on his hit. No call here. Now the pass to Hemsky, and he's checked by Raffle as the horn sounds ending the period. 52 seconds remaining on the penalty. And so more power play time for the Oilers to start the second. For the first time this season, the Flyers have allowed more than 1 goal in the first period. The Oilers score 2, have a 2-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Tonight's Flyers-Oilers first period was brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Powerback Rehabilitation. And by Supercuts. Check out supercuts.com to find a convenient salon location near you. Rock the cuts at Supercuts. John Bork and Al Morganti, along with Tim Panaccio. Yeah, Panach back in the studio to analyze the first period here tonight. Oilers 2, Flyers no score after 1. They banged up, played that game without Dennis Seidenberg. They knew that was coming as he is done for the season. That's sad news, of course. Former Flyer done for the year. And Zdeno Chara did not play in that game either as they continue to suffer a lot of injuries. Flashback. 1987. What a Stanley Cup final it was. The upstart Flyers against the dynastic Oilers. Oilers seem to be on their way to an easy series win as they took the first 2 games in Edmonton. Flyers won Game 3, but then the Oilers took Game 4 in Philadelphia. Everyone thought the series was over at that point, but the Flyers won in Edmonton 4-3, and then at Game 6, Brian Propp tied it late. J.J. Daniel won it, and the Flyers forced a Game 7 before the Oilers finally took their 3rd of 5 Stanley Cups during that era with a 3-1 Game 7 win. Ron Hextall so tremendous during that Stanley Cup run for the Flyers, and there is a look at the Oilers. Really the last true dynasty in the NHL. 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s and into 1990. 5 Cups covering a 7-year span.
The Blackhawks trying to become one, and they're close. There's no question they've got one heck of an opportunity to win another Stanley Cup this year the way they've played. And, of course, winning 2 in the last 4 years, I guess, is as close as we come of late.
There's that statistic. Sort of hard to believe in game number 38 that the Flyers have allowed more than 1 goal in the first period for the very first time. They've allowed 20 first period goals all year, which is right up near the top of the NHL in first period stinginess. But the Oilers get a couple, Flyers will have to fight back, and they'll try right. Here's Couturier, breaks in! Poke checked away by Bryzgalov. Again, the puck was getting away from Couturier, but he gets the puck back. Deeks! Stopped at the post, stopped again by Bryzgalov! Couturier just could not finish it. Bryzgalov comes up big, and now it's hauled the other way. Taken off the puck by Timonen. Puck sent back toward the point. Eberle has it. His pass tipped by Giroux. And Giroux gets to Timonen. 17 seconds remaining on the Edmonton power play, but you can see how they get loosey-goosey at times with a man advantage. Couturier, 3 scoring chances. Here's Timonen. Down low, Hall after it. Giroux after him. And the power play comes to an end as Voracek gets to the puck. So the Flyers back to full strength in this 2-0 hockey game. Perron backhands into the Philadelphia zone. See it down as Meszaros, and he'll get to Luke Schenn. Now the Flyers try to move it up the boards, but that's going to be intercepted. Hemsky stepped into by Meszaros, but the puck bounces to Nugent Hopkins. His pass for Hemsky is broken up. Voracek sends LeCavalier to center. LeCavalier out with Giroux and Voracek right now. They go offside at the Edmonton line.
Well, a couple of prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone here, and Bryzgalov poke checks that puck away, and then Couturier finds himself wide open again, walks around him, and then tries to jam this puck in and can't get it past Bryzgalov.
Another couple of inches right here. Right here. If he had just been able to get that puck a little bit more into the blue, see right there, he hits the actual side of the post. As I said, a couple inches away from beating Bryzgalov after Bryzgalov made a nice glove save, sprawled on the ice.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but live it looked as though Couturier was starting to have trouble with the puck on the initial breakaway, and then was finished off in the poke check by Bryzgalov. And again, the ice working so really quick ice here, and you got to adjust to it. Bryzgalov. This is the second of those Couturier chances. Great glove save there, and then, as Coatsy said, oh, so close.
Well, his momentum carried him. As he was moving so quickly that all of a sudden he couldn't put the brakes on in time. He was trying to do everything in one motion, and he just couldn't do it.
I think sometimes you're shocked you're in alone like that. The first time, it's okay. The second time, it's like unbelievable that you're standing there again with no Oiler around you.
Bryzgalov got the job done. Doesn't even get credit for a save on the poke check. It's not really a shot on goal. Yeah, he was so close. You think it's almost a shot, but because the puck wasn't directed toward the net, Jones, I don't think they can give him a shot.
Right, but if he doesn't poke it, I think it's a goal, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen those go past him before, so.
Indeed. Being past him thus far tonight, Flyers with 12 shots on goal. He hasn't looked all that crisp at times, but he has made the save so far. You know he wants to have a big night here this evening.
The key is he's not a terrific athletic goaltender, so you want to get him moving. And the Flyers want to start testing him a little bit more here and not be turning pucks over in their own zone.
Yeah, they have done some of that in this game, and obviously it has cost them. And it also means you're not spending time in the offensive zone. Out of Todd Scores, upper right-hand corner of your screen. This is the only late game in the NHL on this Saturday night. Here's Voracek. As the puck hit across the line, Raffl goes to the net. Voracek, shot save, rebound, Raffl tipped it back through Voracek in front, and Giroux falls as he took the shot, and it goes up over the crossbar. They just can't seem to finish here this evening. They had Bryzgalov dead to rights. Here's Voracek in again. Looks it around behind. Justin Schultz will tip it free, and the Oilers look to move up now. Turnover. Here's Voracek, hauled down penalty. And the Flyers will go to a man advantage, and they're certainly getting their scoring chances, and you get the feeling it's a matter of time, but then again, you start to wonder if they could just break that seal that seems to be over the Edmonton net.
And maybe they're pressing a little too hard to try to get pucks past Bryzgalov. There's the shot, the rebound comes across, and Giroux's got an opportunity, kind of handcuffed him there on the pass from Voracek and went up over the net.
I'm wondering if Voracek really knew that the ability to see that puck come right back into the middle. Here's Giroux right in front of the goalkeeper, but I think Voracek really didn't realize that he had an open net and the opportunity to come from the right side of Bryzgalov.
Flyers with the power play, their first of the game. Here's Timonen across to Voracek. Right back to Kimmo. And now it's Jake. Voracek to Giroux. One-time shot, they score! Simmons was in front and may have gotten a piece of that power play goal. Flyers within one. as they score for a case of Tasty Cake and finally solve Bryzgalov and that Edmonton net.
I think you're right about Simmons in the blue paint there in front of the net. It does change direction. Some good puck movement for the Flyers. Good patience as Voracek finds Giroux, and then the shot towards the net. It looks like Simmons may have got a piece of that blast from Giroux.
You get him going one way and you go the opposite way. Giroux facing the net. That's allowing them to have that one-timer. Remember we talked about east-west? Bryzgalov goes left to right, and Giroux goes right back where he came from to get the Flyers on the board. That's a nice passing play and a great shot by Giroux.
Graphics coordinator giving the goal to Claude Giroux, and he may very well have it because Simmons' celebration wasn't. Now they're giving the goal to Simmons here at the arena, so we'll have to change that. But Wayne Simmons, that's 5 goals in the last 3 games, 6 in his last 4. Now 5 games. So Wayne Simmons is officially red hot.
He is, and we knew coming into this game it would be his type of game against a goaltender like Bryzgalov, and the Flyers do some good work with their power play.
We're going to have to tell Wayne to celebrate more when he deflects that to let us know, right? Here's Wayne Simmons. Stop, but Hartnell will chop that one in the slot. Brayden Schenn shot save, and the rebound tipped away from Wayne Simmons. And now the other way goes Gagne. Perron and into the Philadelphia zone. Giroux will get an assist on that, and he will now set himself a new career high for games with consecutive points. Voracek also should get an assist, and he'll set another career high. That's 9 in a row for Voracek, and now 8 games in a row for Giroux. Only Patrick Kane with longer point streak than those 2 individuals in the NHL. That puck goes into the Edmonton bench.
Take a look at that redirection by Wayne Simmons, and he does a real good job with his hand-eye coordination here. You'll see Simmons in front in 17. Watch the stick right there. The puck drops immediately after the contact from Wayne Simmons.
Simmons is so good because he's a big, tall, gangly guy, and he'd be able to move people out, get in front of Bryzgalov. Bryzgalov had no clue where that puck was.
Here's Vinny Lecavalier. Flyers really forcing the action so far here in the second period. Lecavalier looking for some room. He's knocked off balance. Now trying to spin it down low. It ends up back toward Nick Grossman and into the Philadelphia bench.
So a lot of early chances for the Flyers here in the second period, and Wayne Simmons breaks through. You can see goals in 3 consecutive games now, and the previous 2 he scored twice in each. So Wayne Simmons will be looking for that second one here against the Oilers.
I think you're seeing a little bit of a change in momentum here. The Flyers do a good job getting the puck into the offensive zone for the Flyers, into the defensive zone of the Edmonton Oilers, and doing a good job on the one-on-one battles.
They have all 5 scoring chances here in the second period to the Flyers.
Have holiday cash to spend? You still have time to get a Flyers Santa sack. Each pack includes an autograph puck, 2 tickets to a 2014 Flyers game, 4 Adirondack Phantoms tickets, and a Flyers wall calendar, and more. Order them up. Why is that guy laughing at me? He must have heard me stumble.
Yeah, he called it the year 2014, which it technically is, but most people will say 2014.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. Canadian.
The years are different up here? I didn't know that. I knew the temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit and all that, but I didn't know it affected the calendar
It's like
year.
miles an hour and kilometers.
Okay, all right, I never knew that. You learn something new every day hanging around with you, Mr. Jones. Here is Yakupov poking it out into the neutral zone area. It's swept into the zone. Flyers go back and get it. Adam Hall starts up 24 hours ago. I don't think you would have expected Adam Hall to be able to play in this game. He really had a bad case of the flu, but the Crossan training staff did a great job getting him his nutrition, getting him his rest, keeping him away from the other players as much as possible, and Adam Hall ready to go and play here tonight.
He and Brayden Schenn.
Yeah, Brayden Schenn also battling the flu. There's Petrie looking to spring a teammate, but the pass goes all the way down in on Mason. And ahead it goes. What a pass to Giroux. He gets to Voracek, and Voracek missed it wide. Maybe Bryzgalov got a piece. That was Steve Mason's puck handling again, being a factor as it set up Voracek. Flyers not only getting scoring chances, they are 10 penalty chances. Here's Voracek again off the wall with the puck. Voracek drops it back. Ruffle shot is snared by Bryzgalov as that one sort of fluttered in on goal. All Flyers here early in the second, and they had some payoff courtesy of the red-hot Wayne Simmons. His fifth in the last 3 games. Cut the deficit to 1. From all of us at Comcast Sportsnet, best wishes for the new year coming up.
And then Steve Mason with an outstanding play there. One of the better puck-moving goaltenders in the league. Voracek shot there. Brizgalov got a piece of that before it went wide of the net. And Voracek had a prime scoring chance taken away there with a nice save from Brizgalov.
Right idea, left-hand shot looking for that far corner, and he was cooking.
Face off now to Brizgalov's left. Flyers have all 5 shots taken here in the second period, and as mentioned earlier, all the scoring chances, and they have been some good ones. But some of their good scorers too. When you're talking about the Voracek, Giroux had one. Puck to the corner. Simmons hidden by Petrie, and the puck cleared. Streit will turn back with it. Streit also been putting up the points lately, 5 in his last 5 games. Hartnell trying to get that puck deep, could not. And now he's knocked down. He is able to disrupt Hemsky enough so he could not skate up ice with it. Simmons lost control as he tried to cut to the middle. And now it's Ryan Smith. And he'll lob one deep into the Philadelphia zone where the ice is almost clean right now. Hartnell misses that pass. Petrie's shot is blocked, and Braden Shen looking for the puck. Now finds Simmons, and across the line. Hartnell drives the net. Simmons takes the shot. Brizgalov to save, and no rebound as Hartnell knocks down Petrie.
Well, let's take a look at our Geico quote. And there's the guy that had it, Scotty Hartnell, saying that we've got to take this show on the road. We can't be homers and expect to make the playoffs. The next step is to be able to win on the road. We've got to take what we do at home and do it on the road.
Well, what they've been doing at home is 9 consecutive wins, their longest home ice winning streak since the 05 year, and they've been so good at home, but they have not won in their last 5 road games. Shot by Mazaus. Knocked down by Brizgalov. That deflects out. Oh, Luke Shen nearly giving that one away. In fact, he does. Yoensu's shot from the angle went wide. Mason had it covered. Luke Shen ahead. LeCavalier couldn't get it. Ferentz a shot. Save Mason. First one he has had to make here in the period. Now centering pass just out of the reach of Eberle. You see a turnover by the Flyers, and this is what happens. The Oilers now get to go to work offensively. Eberle back out to the point. Ferentz shot. That went wide. Nearly bounced out the other side. Yoensu flips. Gagne's shot is blocked off. He gets it back. And now flips to Eberle, who overskated. Now the referee right in the sight line of the Flyers there. Reed couldn't get it out. Gagne pass back to Eberle. Hits to Yoensu. Yoensu for Gagne. He was tightly marked by Reed, and now Couturier has the puck. Looking for LeCavalier, hit him in the back of the skate. Now Vinny ahead to Reed. Tries to make the maneuver at the line, and was stopped, so he decides on a second attempt to just fling it deep. Now Giroux spinning off the wall with it. Giroux the shot, and it goes wide all the way out to Coburn. Coburn trying to backhand it deeper, and does. Steve Downey to the puck. Downey out with Giroux and Raffl. As that puck comes to ice slot, Coburn, his shot blocked. Bounces free and is cleared out to Sutter. Coburn will tip it back to Timonen.
Not seeing Voracek on the bench right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Here's Giroux with a pass, the shot. Coburn, and Scaloff knocked that one aside. Now Downey in the corner. He's checked by Perron. These are the battles Downey has to win, and he does. His pass goes all the way through. Shot, Coburn! Scaloff sprawls to make another save. And he's giving it to one of his teammates, David Perron, right there.
Some good puck movement there and some good heads-up plays from Steve Downey as he sends this puck saucer pass across to Braden Coburn and fires it, and Brizgalov makes a nice glove save.
That one was cooking, let me tell you. Coburn, you see that, all of a sudden he got out and got the glove on it, but he was following at the same time because Coburn came with the one-timer.
And Riz had something to say to David Perron. I was trying to figure out what Perron had to do with that play. I have to take another look at it, but Riz, as we all know in Philadelphia, is not afraid to let his teammates know when he's not happy with something that happened in front of him.
Yeah, that was interesting there as his team's actually up by 1 here.
Here's an interception by Hall to Couturier. Couturier trying to get it back in front, blocked. Now Couturier takes it to the corner. It's Spins it off for Ronaldo. Ronaldo, a shot! Save Bryzgalov through heavy traffic. Hall then bumped into Bryzgalov, but the puck went to the corner. And the other way with it. Oh, the Oilers and Anton Lander. He'll dump it deep into the Philadelphia zone and chase after it himself. It pops free to the quarter. Luke Gazdic after it there. Now tips it to Yakupov. He's worked on by Ronaldo. Yakupov working hard there. Strike couldn't get it through Lander, and now it's back out toward the point, but Nick Schultz could not keep it in. Fell off to it. And now it's Schultz, longtime Minnesota Wild player, now in his third year with the Oilers. Grossman the hit, but can't find the puck. It was behind him. Puck will roll free. Schultz jamming it back around behind, but Oilers able to get to it. And now that pass obfuscated out through center ice. Nick Schultz gets back to it. Been around long enough now, Nick Schultz. He's 5th among active players in blocked shots. That one is cleared all the way down. And icing the call. Well, get ready. 1 hour before the Eagles face the Cowboys in their final playoff push. Get an in-depth preview with Brian Westbrook, plus reports from Big D. Watch Eagles pregame live Sunday night at 7 only on Comcast Sportsnet. The big game is almost here.
Looking forward to that one, the big showdown, and let's get those Eagles back in the playoffs.
Get to go against the backup quarterback. Oh, Tony Romo.
Sometimes it looks easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Beware of that. Here's Wayne Simmons again, causing trouble in the crease area. Diving play by Braden Shen to get the puck back to his brother. Luke's shot is blocked, though, and Ryan Smith able to clear it off his stick. A bouncing puck. Luke Shen will go across. Mazaros to Braden Shen. All kinds of room. Shen a shot. It's blocked. Now Hartnell, big swing at it. It's back out to Mazaros. Looking for a lane. Wrists one. And it's blocked in front. Simmons kept it alive, but Hartnell could not get to it. Now it's Mazaros across. Luke Shen, not a lot of room to work with. Flips it wide. Simmons trying to set her. It's blocked. And a penalty. Perron had the puck, so it's got to be on Edmonton. Or the referee had to think about the penalty. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
Penalty box for the Edmonton Oilers. He'll pick up an elbowing call, but let's take a look at our Wells Fargo. Great check of the game. It's Jesse Uensu, the former New York Islander. He's a big boy, 6'4", 207 pounds, but he's going to take on a guy named Nick Grossman, who's 6'4", 230 pounds, and that is positioning. He had good balance and caught Nick Grossman right up against the wall, and that's our Wells Fargo. Great check of the game.
Uensu signed as a free agent by the Oilers, away from the Islanders. Flyers now go on the power play, as Coatsy mentioned, with Perron in the box for elbowing, and so the Flyers with their second man advantage. They wasted no time in going to work with their first power play and getting their only goal this game, but unable to win that draw. And Boyd Gordon, one of the top penalty killers for the Oilers, clears the puck all the way down. Timonen and Voracek on the points. Hartnell, Giroux, and Simmons up front. Normal alignment for the Flyers. As the pass goes ahead to Voracek. This pass is intercepted. And set all the way down. Jake upset with himself after that pass. Head down now. Flyers will try again. Giroux, lots of room. Softly plays it in. Voracek after it. Now Hartnell gets there. His pass squeezes through to Giroux. Back out, Timonen. Shot. Blocked in front. Hartnell gets it back to Giroux. Simmons side of the net. Holds, waits, fires, save. Bryzgalov, he held his ground. Puck pops loose. Simmons kicks it out of his skates. Looks to make a play. Finds Giroux. Giroux waiting for Hartnell. His pass deflects through in front. Simmons tips it home. He scores. Double trouble for Simmons for the third consecutive game. And this game is tied at 2. Wayne Simmons continues to find the net. The Flyers score for a case of Tasty Cake.
A little bit of good fortune here for the Flyers. Hartnell goes to shoot the puck in the slot area off the stick of Giroux, and it's going to slide over to Jake Voracek, who alertly does a beautiful cross-ice pass to Simmons, who slides it in the back door.
Hey, it's just a matter of having a little luck and at the same time taking advantage of it, as that pass will come right back across, and then east-west. Remember we talked about east-west? Well, Jake Voracek is going to go east-west, and Bryzgalov is totally out of control, going from right to left.
Timeout called by the Oilers. Wayne Simmons, we're going to have to Do some research here. See, the last time a Flyer has scored 2 goals in 3 consecutive games. It doesn't happen that much in today's NHL.
No, some outstanding work from Wayne Simmons and some good help on the power play. The puck movement for the Flyers has been outstanding. We showed you Brizgalov earlier yelling at David Perron, actually the player who ended up taking that penalty, and the Flyers end up scoring on the power play. Here's Briz, after making a glove save, telling David Perron to wake up. He then thought better of it, went and apologized to him and gave him a little hug, and then David Perron paid him back by taking a penalty, and the Flyers scored the goal, and you can see Briz's reaction there. He's getting his cosmonaut outfit ready as he lays there and does snow angels.
Well, obviously he's looked very uncomfortable going pipe to pipe tonight. And now the Flyers are moving that puck in such a way. Oh yeah, they got a little lucky, but give Voracek and Simmons a lot of credit. They catch Edmonton down low 2-on-1 and take full advantage of it.
Well, we got Eberle coming in right off the face-off, a shot that went wide. But Dallas Eakins using his timeout. His team has been thoroughly dominated here in the second period. Outshot 12-1. The Flyers have tied the game at 2. The last road game for the Flyers in Columbus, they were down 2, came back to tied at 2, but then let up. They want to keep the foot on the gas pedal here this evening. LeCavalier for Couturier. Couturier ridden into the boards, but got the puck free to Reed side of the net, but he was checked. And now Ioannou. He was checked. Cavalier behind the net again, but he lost control. He'll go back and get it. He's ridden into the boards over there by the rookie Marincin. Now they flip one, and it's Brizgalov gloving that, and he'll hang on. So there he is, Wayne Simmons. 6 goals in his last 3 games. 7 in his last 5. Before this 5-game point streak, he had 5 goals on the year. He had gone 10 straight games without a goal. Now he's the club leader in goals by 2. As he has scored 7 in 5 games.
It's amazing what confidence does, right? You hear a lot of coaches talk about winning breeds confidence. Well, scoring goals breeds confidence for goal scorers, and Wayne Simmons has proven that in his time with the Flyers that he can be one of the top goal scorers on the club.
And he deserves it, because through thick and thin, good times and bad times this season, he never stopped. He was one of the more aggressive guys. He communicated. He was jumping up and down, yelling and screaming to get things going. He was always very aggressive.
Nugent Hopkins has checked the Flyers steamroll back. It's Voracek on the B-line to the neutral zone. Lost control, though, at the line, and Perron takes over. The pass to Petrie, looking to get it ahead to Hall, who gets behind Coburn. His angle shot smothered by Mason. Only the second shot on goal of the period for the Oilers. And their 10th of the game.
You would expect a little surge from the Oilers here after their head coach Dallas Eakins used his timeout. And I think it was a pretty smart move on the coach. They want to get out of this period, at least even. And the Flyers want to keep pushing here and try to get that next goal, not allow them to get to the dressing room. Columbus was able to get to the locker room prior to the Christmas break and then had a strong third period. The Flyers want to keep pressing here.
When the defensive zone draw, Nick Grossman to the puck. Takes the hit, makes the play to strike. Looking for Downey in center. That deflects and is played by Andrew Ferentz. Side is a free agent, named captain of this Oilers club. Flyers a good job there by Hall to keep the puck in the zone. Ronaldo turns with it. Pass to Hall, the shot! Sabres go up! And he gathers the puck to stop play.
What a great play by Ronaldo. He's going to drag that puck as he's drawing some attention right here. But Ronaldo's a great skater. We all know about that. But watch as he spins right here. Holds on, and then what a great pass to Adam Hall, who's a right-hand shot, facing it despite having an Edmonton Toronto right in front of him.
Yeah, both Downey and Ronaldo threw good body checks just prior to that nice pass from Ronaldo, and Brizgalov came up with a save on Adam Hall.
Adam Hall bidding for his first ever goal against the Oilers in his 17th career game against them. Denied by veteran goaltender. That puck comes back in on Brizgalov from his teammate. He's able to cover up, and then Wayne Simmons gets involved in front. Wouldn't blame the Oilers if they would try to take Simmons off the ice with a penalty. Get him off the ice where he can't do any damage.
Yeah, and it's the captain, Andrew Ferentz, that's quick to get there. The former Boston Bruin who knows how to play the game. And he's the first one to react and get after Simmons as he poked away at that loose puck and around the feet of Brizgalov.
Flyers win the draw. Zaus got it deep, but the Oilers gained control and played right back out to center. Zaus breaks that up. Now Simmons backhands ahead. Hartnell could not maneuver ahead. Hemsky got it as far as Luke Schenn. He finds his brother. And Braden will dump that puck in, and as he'll head in on the forecheck. Bryzgalov took his time playing that puck, and Schenn nearly came up with it. Now it's Ryan Smith, and he'll dump it out to the neutral zone. Luke Schenn could not get it past Boyd Gordon. Gordon in across the line. Checked by Schenn behind the net. Mazaros trying to pin his man at Hemsky. Hemsky gets it back out to Petrie. Petrie floating one. It bounces off a couple players. All the way out to Brayden Schenn, who could not get it out of the zone as the Oilers got to him. And now Mazaros fishes the puck out of a pile. Hartnell will pop it out to the neutral zone. Simmons will play it in to Edmonton ice. We tick down to 5 minutes remaining in this second period. Luke Schenn broke up a play, was looking to start the Flyers back the other way, but couldn't get it through. Now the pass for Giroux. Giroux still after it, but it's poked to the quarter boards by Nick Schultz. He'll drop it back to Petrie. And Voracek tips. Timonen gathers. Timonen for Giroux. High slot off to Coburn. Coburn's shot deflected and went to the quarter boards. Now Raffl after it. Finds Voracek. Voracek looking, spinning. Gagne marking him, but Voracek brings on the speed now as he moves behind the net. Still has it. Voracek finally grabbed by Petrie, but still Voracek found Giroux. Right back to Voracek. Center for Raffl. Couldn't one time it. Giroux gets it back out near the line. Soft pass into Coburn. Back out for Giroux, and he was breaking toward the net. And so he's going to have to go back and retrieve the puck.
Boy, Jake Voracek just did a great job below the goal line here. He had lost it, he got it back. He lost it, he got it back, and did a great job of fighting off a couple of Edmonton Oilers defenders.
Flyers completing a change now as Giroux gets off the ice. Oilers surge through. It's Hall offside. That poke check by Coburn enough to break up the play. 3:52 to go in the second.
Edmonton Oilers too, and that guy has been red hot for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's our power back, comeback goal. Gets the first one and then gets the comeback goal. How about this? He gets both of them as Wayne Simmons gets the deflection and then a little bit 2-on-1 down low with Jake Voracek as Wayne Simmons. He's been it all here for the Flyers in this second period.
Now 12 goals on the year, and half of those 12 in the last 3 games. There's Grossman making it ahead. Important 3:45 here. That's icing on the Flyers. As Jonesy mentioned, you really want to let the Oilers get out of this period tied. You want to keep that momentum going, and you do think back to that Columbus game. The Flyers were unable to do that and ended up paying for it in the third. Oilers, actually, you can take any of the 3 periods, and they're right near the top. Why is that? Because they have allowed more goals than any team, period, in the NHL. But the second period, a very high total. In particular, the third period, they've allowed 47 third-period goals. That's the most in the NHL, so the Flyers can perhaps add to that total once the third gets here. But now they want to finish this second period in strong fashion. Grossman checked. Pass into the middle. Look out. Tips back. Shot! And that one hit Grossman, who went down. He blocked that shot from Marincin. And the other way, it's Couturier. Or the Cavalier, who can't handle the puck. And now Couturier will wind it in. Fell off. You remember him from the meeting these teams had in November. Had that high hit on Giroux. Got a match penalty.
That's right.
Was not suspended for that hit. And he does like to throw his weight around. Out into the KHL. Moves the puck to Hall. Taylor Hall. Boy, he's getting to the point now where every time he touches the puck, you think he's very dangerous. Giroux gets that back to Coburn, and now off Voracek into the Edmonton zone. Perron goes back for it. Chopped it along the wall. Lynch and tied up Voracek. They say legally, and so the other way go the Oilers with speed. Nugent Hopkins whipped away at the last moment. Perron centering, and there's Hall. Now these two out on the ice. There is a lot of speed. Now Raffl. Yeah, he didn't get that puck in, but he gets help. Mazaros carries on. Mazaros to the slot. Shot, and it went wide. Out the other side, Perron is checked, but it will drift to the neutral zone. Becoming a 3-on-2 here. Flyers need to get back. The pass to Hall. Hall in front. Mason the save. Whoa, mark that one down. Steve Mason coming up huge right there on Justin Schultz. Now it's Luke Schenn, the shot off the glove of Bryzgalov. Centered back out in front. Here's Ronaldo, and that shot off a stick and then the glass, and then the safety netting.
Outstanding job by Steve Mason. The Oilers starting to buzz a little bit here in the latter stages of this second period, and Mason comes up with 2 big saves on the Oiler defenseman that jumps in here. Justin Schultz first shot, and then he stayed with it. Not sure if he tapped that second one or not, but Mason was there to close the door.
Boy, I tell you what, that looked like it was coming right through the 5-hole as you look behind Mason. But look at Mason spread out. He's such a big man.
Here's Ryan Smith clearing the zone for Edmonton. 1:45 remaining in this period. Shots 14-3 in favor of Philadelphia. 2 have gone in. So they've erased, what was a 2-0 deficit. But as Jonesy mentioned, the Oilers beginning to assert themselves here late in the period, and they're using their speed to do it. That's not a surprise. Batted ahead, and now the Flyers have it. Mark Streit. 3-on-2 developing. Streit up the left wing. Streit fumbled the puck. And now just jam it deep to Braden Shen. Braden Shen trying to get it back out, but that's knocked aside, and it's Boyd Gordon moving back with it. He'll pump it into the Philadelphia zone. Cut off quickly. Pass ahead from Timonen off Simmons in on Bryzgalov, and Braden Shen's going to force Briz to cover up. 61 seconds remaining in the period.
Heads up play by Wayne Simmons to just chip that puck in the zone after Braden Shen tried to force a play just prior to that.
Well, let's take a look at our Independence Blue Cross fearless play of the game. Watch Nick Grossman. Right here, the shot's going to come to the point, and oh my goodness, sometimes right there, he just absolutely dove. That is why that's our fearless play of the game.
Yeah, got it in his shoulder, it appeared. Here is Reed. Reed for LeCavalier, and he did not come up with the puck. It up but not out. Timonen kept it in momentarily, but now it bounces to Gagne. And Gagne will flutter one toward Mason. That had a lot of spin on it. He is able to handle it. Now Timonen ridden into the boards. The Oilers get the puck. Uenesu centering. A reach there by LeCavalier broke it up, but now Eberle to the puck. Eberle, an angled shot is blocked. Coburn trying to get to it from Philadelphia. Fans on the clear. And the puck off LeCavalier and not out of the zone. Now it is Timonen. He'll try the glass and will clear. Petrie has it there, and he'll drop it back. Nick Schultz, and that hits Hall, and he's already into the zone, so it's offside. The faceoff should come back to the blue line of Edmonton.
Well, the Flyers return home on January the 8th to take on Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower level seat. Get access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call 215-389-9500 now for the latest special offers.
14 seconds remaining in the period. Zaro sends one in from center. Bryzgalov sets it up for Ferentz. And then it's cleared all the way down by Perron. That's icing. Flyers get an offensive zone draw with 3.4 seconds, or maybe even a little more if they adjust the clock. Not a smart play there by the veteran.
No, with the hybrid icing, they probably should add a second there. The whistle was a little late to come from the linesman. It doesn't look like there's any movement towards the scorer's table. The Flyers have enough time here. Not sure if Craig Berube will pull Steve Mason here for the extra attacker. Looks like he'll leave him in the net.
I usually think 3 seconds is the maximum there. And with the ice so fast here.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Giroux trying to get this back to LeCavalier, could not. The Oilers win the draw. Voracek steals and fires one toward Bryzgalov, but the period has come to a close. A good period for the Flyers. Wayne Simmons tallies twice as the Flyers get back even. It's 2-2 through 40. Tonight's Flyers-Oilers second period was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $40 million. So play today. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. Let's go downstairs. Coatsy. That's a chat with Jake Voracek, who has 2 helpers here tonight.
Thanks very much, Jimmy. And Jake, 2 different periods. The first period, it looked like you had been off a few days where they played last night, which was to their advantage. But you find your team right now and yourself, you're getting your legs now in the second period?
Well, I don't think we played that bad in the first period. You know, we just got allowed 2 goals, and you know, it's always tough to start a game with 2-0 deficit. But you know, in the second period, we outshot them again, and I think it was a really solid period from our standpoint.
Let's talk about the tying goal, because oh yeah, you got that puck, came right over to you. Tell us what happened.
Well, it's a kind of set play, you know. If I got it like that quickly from G or Hartsey, Simmer's my only option to pass. And, if I get it through that D in front of a net, it's a 90% it's a goal.
I think you had about 3 chances yourself in that period.
Yeah, well, that breakaway, Brice made a great stop. I thought it was a little room on the blocker side, but he's got a piece of it, but it was close. So, we got that under goal lately, but we just got to keep going.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jimmy, back to you.
Voracek now 15 points in his last 9 games. John Bourque, Al Morganti, and Panach ready for analysis as our coverage of Flyers hockey continues after these messages on the Comcast Network. Oilers got 2 in the first, Flyers 2 in the second. Here are Sugar House Casino second period statistics.
Yeah, the shots, the big advantage to the Philadelphia Flyers. Edmonton just 3 shots on goal in that second period. Flyers dominating the offensive chances, and the hits as well, as Luke Schenn has 5 of the Flyers' 22 through 2 periods.
The second period scoring summary. Wayne Simmonds, of course, getting the 2 goals in that second period. Voracek had 2 helpers. As the Flyers get the 2 goals to tie this one up. Voracek extending his point streak to 9 games, Giroux to 8. GMC NHL update, New Jersey and the Islanders. That's Adam Henrique giving the Devils a 1-0 lead. Islanders tied it at 1 and then won it. The Devils did on this goal. Travis Zajac, talk about a painful way to win a hockey game. Takes that shot, I'm not sure if it was in the face or in the neck area, but it wound up in the net. And so Zajac has himself the game-winning goal, and the Devils jump, at least for now, past the Flyers in the Metropolitan Division standing.
Yeah, we had a look at Wayne Simmonds, of course, scoring both goals in the second period. On that man, Ilya Bryzgalov, who has made some big saves in this game. Flyers had a bunch of A-quality chances. Steve Mason tested late in that period after not seeing many pucks for the first 15 minutes. He did have to make a difficult save on Justin Schultz, who jumped in from the Oilers' blue line and looking to try to get the lead back in Edmonton's favor.
So it comes down to this third period. Either team wins this third period, they win the hockey game, as we come your way from Rexall Place in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. First of 6 straight on the road. There's this shot by Streit that went wide. Lecavalier tries to tuck it in. Bryzgalov trying to hold the post. The puck pops free behind the net. And now back out to Streit. Streit looking for a seam. Didn't have one. Gave it to Grossman. Grossman hit Reed in the midsection with that pass. And now it's tipped away and the Oilers move up. Yoensuu in across the line. Yoensuu, the shot and the save by Mason. Puck bounces in the air into the slot. Reed could not play it. Lecavalier again did not come up with it, but it's sent back into the Philadelphia zone by Nick Schultz. Oilers had to clear the zone, and they'll end up going on a line change here. And the Flyers to move back. Voracek to Giroux with speed. Giroux the shot, and that one takes off as Bryzgalov was ducking out of the way. Raffl down behind the net to Voracek. In front, tackled was Giroux, penalty. And the Flyers 2 for 2 on the power play here tonight will get a man advantage, as holding is the call on Petrie.
All starts with speed through the neutral zone. It's Voracek that sends the puck to Giroux. He fired it quickly at the net, and then they get working on the cycle again. You can see the stick of Petrie right there and around the waist of Giroux.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. I think you can get on this defense of the Edmonton Oilers. Right here, Petrie's got no choice. He's got Giroux just firing right in front of Bryzgalov, and we're seeing a lot of that post to post. I think that's the key.
Well, they certainly demonstrated that on the power play as they get their third crack at it. Voracek, his shot, it deflected and went wide. Hartnell, we've got a stick on that now. Simmonds steers it along to Asher, out to Voracek. Flyers 2 for 2 here tonight in their road power play for the season, now almost 25%. Up in the top 5 of the NHL. Here's Simmonds looking for Hartnell. It goes back through to Timonen. Now it's Giroux. Directing traffic, goes across to Voracek, who fires. Save Bryzgalov. Hartnell trying to keep the puck alive, but Bryzgalov melts it down.
Some real hunger in around the feet of Bryzgalov there. The shot by Voracek, and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Bryzgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Giroux's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up, wants everybody to move around a little bit, and then Giroux's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek, his left-hand shot, looking for the one-timer, and That time, Brizgalov was there.
They're set up again. Giroux to Timonen. Sends one toward the net, but it's blocked by Gordon and cleared all the way down by the Oilers. 1:17 remaining on the power play as we look at the McDonald's power play payoff contested. Giroux hits Voracek. Left wing dish. Hartnell turns back with it. Gives it to Voracek right at the line. They set up. Hartnell high slot. Down low off Simmonds and wide. Simmonds nearly at his third of the night. Now here is Giroux. Back out to Voracek. And now Giroux again. The passive penalty killing by the Oilers. They're packed in the box. Here's Simmonds down low, looking to center. Loose puck. Timonen kept it alive. It squeezes through to the corner. Now it's Giroux again. As a look, Voracek sneaking in the back door. Giroux's pass deflects, and now Voracek gets to it. Has to turn away from Perron, who almost hooked him, and now Voracek getting it to Timonen across for Giroux. Back for Voracek. Didn't get all that one-timer. Simmonds to the puck. Recaptures. Simmonds to the point. Timonen across Voracek. Waiting, firing, and that one went wide, and that's going to make its way all the way out to the neutral zone. Just 10 seconds remain on the power play. One last bid for the Flyers with it. Giroux checked by Hall. Hartnell tries to carry on. Fell off to the puck. Out of the box jumps Petrie. Oilers back to full strength. They've killed off a Philadelphia power play for the first time tonight. Hall to Petrie. And the defenseman will turn back with it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this third period. Eberle moves up, tips it in. Dangerous trio out for the Oilers. Eberle, Nugent Hopkins, and Hall. There's Hall centering. That one goes all the way back out. Petrie shot wide. Downey to the puck. And his pass is tipped back. That's a turnover. Nugent Hopkins in across the line to Hall. Now that Nugent Hopkins looking for it, but he couldn't come up with it. The Flyers get to it. Strike ahead for Raffl. Raffl will pitch it into the Edmonton zone and chase himself. He'll be the first to the puck. And he gets to it with some room now as he looks in front. Nobody there. Turns, changes direction, knocked down. Gets back up, punts it to Simmonds. Simmonds right back to Raffl. Raffl will track it down in the corner and then get it back to Simmonds. Simmonds for Hall. It's loose. Hall gets it back to Simmonds, turning with it. Now Wayne Simmonds looks in the slot. That one out of the reach of Raffl. Grossman to an angle shot. And that one taken by Brizgalov chest high, and he hangs on.
Some line juggling here for Craig Berube after that power play. Simmonds jumps on the ice with Adam Hall. And those guys go to work down low in the offensive zone. And Chief doing a nice job of keeping everybody involved here in the first game after the Christmas break.
All final scores now, upper right-hand corner of your screen. Montreal wins in a shootout. 2 and 3 teams in the Atlantic Division. Detroit in that mix as well. New Jersey wins the game. We showed you the highlights. How about that one? St. Louis beats Chicago in a shootout. Nashville over Los Angeles. And Anaheim beats Phoenix 3-2 in overtime. The Ducks continue to win at home.
Amazing. They've been remarkable this year under Bruce Boudreau. Outstanding. It's Saku Koivu who won it in overtime. Balanced scoring in Anaheim.
There are some teams that have some long runs going at home right now. Penguins, Flyers. Here's Simmonds a shot, batted away. Bruins. That Ronaldo shot goes wide. Luke Schenn could not keep it in. Zaos back, and that'll be icing. And the Ducks have been good at home all year. So home ice advantage is important, but Flyers now having to show they can win on the road as they take part in this 6-game swing.
The Flyers Wives Carnival is less than a month away, and this is your chance to meet your favorite Flyers. Get tickets at FlyersCarnival.com and plan to experience the carnival on January 26th at the Wells Fargo Center. Not far away at all.
Not at all. Less than a month away. Off the draw shot by Reed. Goes off the stick and wide. Trying to dig it free is Lecavalier behind the net, and he knocks a man down in the process. That's going to be a penalty. Offensive zone penalty. Vinny Lecavalier will go to the box. He doesn't like the call, but the Oilers will get the man advantage.
Beloff made sure that the referee got a look at that as Lecavalier was working hard to try to get that loose puck in behind the net. And
Philadelphia
Beloff,
Flyers number 40.
with the help of a little bit of embellishment, gets the call, but you can see where the stick will get right there around the waist just for a split second, and the referee in position to make the call.
comes from a close scoring opportunity because LeCombier was trying to drag that puck from behind the net to be able to come with the wraparound. Next thing you know, Belov did do a good job of getting there, and then he was in such a hurry to be able to try to get that puck back, got a little energetic with the stick.
Power play number 4 for the Oilers. Keeman in a chance to clear right off the draw, and he does just that. First 3 power plays. The Oilers came in the first period. They did not have one in the second. As they move up, Justin Schultz will wind it in. Coburn beat Yakupov to the puck. Keeman in. For Couturier turning with it. Tries the other side of the ice, but Hemsky read that, but a good job by Reed to get there and chop it down the ice. Brizgalov waving Schultz back. Not that.
It's become a coach, I guess.
He is entertaining to watch. Schultz will send it in. And bounces toward the quarter. Keeman in there first to Coburn, and Coburn will whistle that one all the way down.
See what Briz has in mind here for the club.
This time just a setup.
Yeah.
And his buddy Perron has it. Perron to the Philadelphia line, off in the left wing. Hall licks in the middle and tried to drop back. Was hit by Luke. Schenn bounces behind the net instead. Now Raffl turned it over. It bounces out in front. And the Oilers get it back. Flyers sort of out of sorts now to get their positions back. They do on the kill. And here's Hall. Forced by Raffl. Still got it to Petrie. Back to Hall. In the slot. Shot! And that hit Pipe. That hit Pipe. Perhaps off of Mason and then Pipe as Gagne took the shot, but definitely caught iron at some point. Here is Hall. Taking the return feed. And then turning back with it to Eberle. To Petrie. Now Gagne, Eberle, and Petrie with room. Fires blocked by Raffl. And now Grossman after it. Bounces free to the other side. Still 13 seconds remain in the power play. Hall. Eberle. Smith's pass back to Eberle. Able to get away from Raffl. They center it. That shot tip bounces high in the air. Oh, Mason got his arm on that, and then it went off the top of the net. Here's Hall turning with it. Tried to center. Deflects back out, but kept in his zone. Petrie's shot off the post again. And now the Flyers have chances. LeCavier plays it down the ice, but he's not going to be able to beat Petrie to it as Ferentz comes over and gives him some help. So the post helping the Flyers not once but twice, and another shot landed on top of the net.
Mason would tell you he had the angle played perfectly. That was the only place that the puck could hit, but 2 prime opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers and some good puck luck for the Flyers.
Voracek to Giroux, the shot, and that one took off. And now Hemsky with an outlet, and he's got his man moving up. And that's Lander with a shot, save Mason, big rebound. Zauts is there, but he turns into some traffic, and now the Oilers get the puck again out in front. Gordon, damn play after it, couldn't get it on goal. Giroux. For Voracek, batting at it, not moving it through center, and Lander will get it back into the Philadelphia zone, or check that Ferentz, and it's straight back for Philadelphia to Grossman. Grossman ahead to Giroux. Giroux looks across ice and gets Streit. Streit hustling the puck into the zone, centered, and jabbing at it with Simmons, but it went on through. Joensuu takes a big hit from Hartnell as he clears the puck across ice, and it's dumped back in. 8 minutes into this third period. Flyers have outshot the Oilers 30-13 for the game, but we're tied where it matters. 2-2. Belov up the wall. Timonen pinches. They get it past him. Gagne with the puck. Chips it off. Schenn to Joensuu. Fires it high and wide. Now the puck ahead. Tipped. Bouncing around. Flyers can't clear it. Now it goes out to center. Brought back in by Simmons. And Coburn gains control. And nearly turned that one over, Coatsy.
Yeah, and they've got to start slowing down the Oilers. They're going out again like they did the first.
There's Perron dancing to the slot. Nugent Hopkins turns with it. Schenn rides him into the quarter boards. Joensuu barrels into the pile. Schenn drags his man down. That could have been called. No arms went up. And the Flyers cleared the zone.
Greg Berube still has his timeout available if he wants to slow this game down a little bit. The Oilers do have their skating legs going again here in the third period.
Especially these guys. Hall surging in. The pass to Eberle. Back in front. It goes wide. Now it's Couturier to Downey. Downey gains the line. Downey with a shot. Batted away by Brizgalov. Then off of Reed and wide. Reed gets to it. Reed turns it back down low. Downey can't catch up to it. He's going to have to try to go after it in the corner. But first there is Petrie, and then off of Couturier. And out of play. 10:43 remaining in the third.
Happy holidays from all of us at Comcast Sportsnet as we take a look at Wayne Simmons He was a hero in the second period. He was first star for sure, as he's going to be able to get the Flyers on the board. They trailed 2-0. Then all of a sudden, where is he? Oh yeah, in front of the net as he redirects this shot from Giroux, and bang, it's a 2-1 hockey game. Then look at his positioning here. Gets a great pass from Jake Voracek, and that makes it 2-2. And Wayne Simmonds has been spectacular in this one.
Yeah, it puts him in some elite company for the Flyers, as that shot by Timonen goes wide. Ferentz with the puck here. Ferentz, by the way, an assist earlier in this game, picked up his 200th NHL point, the veteran defenseman. Mason will set the puck up here. Coburn around for Voracek. Nice redirection pass to Giroux, but he's stopped by Perron. Perron has the puck back, and his pass is to Gagne. The right wing feed for Joensuu. Winds up deep in the Philadelphia zone. Mason quickly to Grossman. Grossman for Voracek. Voracek cross ice on the money. Raffl going wide to the left wing and then flips one, but that ends up out of play off a deflection. In the elite company we're talking about, well, only 4 times in Flyers history has a player scored 2 or more goals in 3 consecutive games. Wayne Simmonds is now one of the 4 opportunities. Reggie Leach did it twice. Ross Lonsberry back in 1976, but obviously the last time it was 1981, so you're talking 32 years later Wayne Simmonds has done it.
It's amazing, isn't it? Thinking of John LeClair, and you think of Brian Propp over the years, Tim Kerr.
John LeClair.
It's huge.
It's amazing, that number. And you know what? That's some pretty good company.
Flyers working the puck down low. Braden Shen trying to center it, but bounces away now. Couturier. Couturier worked on by Boyd Gordon. And we get away from him. Backhands it through and off of Petrie out to Grossman. He'll fire it wide on purpose. Trying to bake it in was Couturier, but Brizgalov able to hold the post. And then Streit has to go back and get it. Takes it all the way out. Shen, touch pass, Reed. Reed in the left wing for the shot, deflects. Wants to get it back, but can't come up with it. It's Hemsky the other way. Now 30 years of age. Hemsky, very talented player. Mason decides to cover up. 9:21 remaining, third period, still tied at 2. Steve Mason readying himself. Less than a half a period remaining in regulation. A 2-2 game. Flyers have outshot the Oilers 32-13. But in one way, they're fortunate they're still tied, as the Oilers have hit a couple posts here in the third.
Just 2 shots on goal registered, but 2 goal posts, or a crossbar and a post anyway for the Oilers, who had some prime scoring chances, even though they haven't been recorded as shots.
Flyers come up with the puck here. And it's Lecavalier moving through center. Slows down at the blue line, and his teammates going ahead of him offside.
Let's take a look at our Hyundai save of the game, and it's going to be Steve Mason. Justin Schultz is going to be able to get this shot. And right there, you can see right at the last second. Mason with a real nice save. And his reaction sometimes, boy, when he gets going, he's way ahead of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it really is mark of a great player, no matter the position, being half step ahead mentally. If you are as a goalie, it certainly gives you an advantage. Joensuu. Penalty coming up. I thought Joensuu was going down on his own, but Timonen fell on top of him. He's going to end up with a holding call, and the Flyers will be shorthanded here.
It's the reason there's so many hits from behind, because defensemen are forced to keep 2 hands on their stick, and that's a problem here. Chemo's got 1, and the stick is up underneath Joensuu, and that's the problem there. There'd be less injuries if we kept that part in the game, but unfortunately for Chemo Timonen, it's not. The ref makes the right call, and the Flyers have to kill this one off.
Boy, you hit that one right on the head and dazed the ball. That's what you did. You just moved your hand a little bit in front. You lifted the guy up and kind of drilled him right up against the wall. He might be a little bit too far away there, but the bottom line is it was a penalty.
5th power play for the Oilers, their second one here in the third period. And again, we repeat that stat. The Oilers have allowed 8 shorthanded goals, so Flyers look for their chances. They certainly had a couple earlier in this game.
And still 4 forwards on this Oilers power play, as they're looking for the offense and not worried about the defense.
The puck sent wide. Grossman could not clear. Kept in. And the Oilers win the race for the puck as Hall gets there. Hall to Nugent Hopkins. Now Eberle had a little trouble controlling. He's got it now. Back to Nugent Hopkins. And he'll get it to the point. Justin Schultz Back to Nugent Hopkins down low, in front. Perron loved the shot. He had net. And he's been hot. He's the leading goal scorer for the Oilers. Zeberle, side of the net. Perron, across it goes in. Off of Nick Grossman. Power play goal, 3-2 Edmonton.
Perron misses the A-quality opportunity and tries to send a pass across the crease that gets a fortuitous bounce off of Nick Grossman, who's trying to block that pass coming across. As the Oilers do a nice job in setting things up. Down low here, Perron ahead of the goal line there as he slides it across off the shin pad of Grossman.
Perron right here, you can see that he's looking up, and he really had nowhere to go. He was just kind of stuffing it that time. Mason's got the post, no two ways about it. But you see Grossman come out to try to get a piece of that and went right inside the pipe to the left of Mason.
16th of the year for Perron. 11:53 the time. His 7th power play goal of the year. Voracek across. Raffl wipes out trying to go after that. And Nick Schultz has the puck back. Flyers have 7:40 remaining now to try to equalize. They've yielded just 14 shots, but they trail in the game. Luke Schenn's pass handled by his brother Brayden. They're playing as close to their hometown as they get in the NHL season. Saskatoon. It's got about 5 or 6 hours from here. Back it goes. Right shot is blocked. Simmons, and right after, Streit kept it in and gets it back again. Maneuvering in traffic, rolls it around to Simmons behind the net. And this pass ends up intercepted by Perron, and Perron back the other way. Left wing feed Joensuu. Joensuu shot off the glove of Mason, and then he gathers it and covers up.
The special edition police department jerseys the Flyers sported in warm-ups before their epic 5-4 comeback win versus Columbus on December the 19th are now up for auction. Go to mygray.com and make one yours today.
Flyers need to come back here. Wouldn't necessarily be epic. They're only down a goal, but it would be a nice comeback just the same. Now less than 7 minutes remaining in the third period to orchestrate it. Here is Streit to Couturier. Back in front. It got caught up in skates. And then back toward the point. McCavier did not keep that in. It's offside as he plays it back off a teammate.
Big points on the line here for the Flyers. They got to find a way to muster up a few more opportunities here against Ilya Bryzgalov, who has made a couple of big saves in this game. He also got after David Perron in the defensive zone, and Perron rewards his goaltender with the power play marker to get the lead back.
Anyway, you stack it up. This game stays 3-2. He's going to be probably the first star. He's got 30 saves, whether he looks pretty making them or not. He has made some big stops, and it'll be the storyline that he beat the Flyers. So the Flyers trying to disrupt that storyline here in the late going. Coburn pinches, gets the puck, knocks it into the corner. The rookie defenseman Marincin after it there, and he'll play it up off the glove of Coburn and down into the neutral zone. Spilled his team in penalty. Hemsky will go, tripping the call. The Flyers a huge opportunity here.
It was Timonen that was in the box when the Oilers took the 3-2 lead here as Dallas Eakins looks on. And an offensive zone penalty that the head coach of the Oilers isn't going to like very much, but it's Timonen that draws this penalty here as he gets tripped up there right at the blue line.
Crowder didn't like that call. Hemsky shaking his head, but the Flyers with their 4th power play. They're 2 for 3. Giroux knocks down a clear and sends it down low to Simmons. He'll try the other side of the ice. Giroux over, but he's checked, and the puck punched down the ice by the Oilers. There's your McDonald's power play payoff contested. Timonen ahead. Voracek gains the line, dishes left side. Hartnell shot, and Bryzgalov the save. Hartnell then drilled into the boards, is shaken up. There is a penalty coming up. Flyers the pass across to Voracek, down low for Simmons. Really want the Oilers to play the puck. They do, and they have a 2-man advantage with 1:26 still remaining on the Hemsky minor.
Hartnell still rubbing the back of his head there as he gets cross-check behind from Petrie, who heads to the penalty box. Hartnell hustling to track that loose puck, and there's the cross-check. Ball made from the neutral zone, and it's the right one, and the Flyers get a 5-on-3 opportunity.
You see the same thing we were talking about earlier. You know, he was going to push a little bit right there with it, but then he extended it. And as soon as he extended it, he got Hartnell in the back of the head, knocked him right into the board. Same thing that Strike got earlier in the hockey game.
Timeout call by Craig Berube here to organize the 5-on-3. And it'll send out 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. Teaming in the sole defenseman. The only change here is LeCavalier up front instead of Hartnell. Also, Simmons is off the ice, so you got Voracek. Hartnell is out on the ice. It's Simmons who is taken off.
The 5-on-3 is a different setup than the 5-on-4, so they've taken Simmons off here, who's been the hottest Flyer as far as scoring goals, but this is the way they practice it, so they'll stick with it here to start, but you have to wonder with Simmons on the bench.
I just assumed he was out there. He who assumes. Off the draw, they get control. Here is Timonen to LeCavalier. Looks toward the net. Down low, Giroux. Giroux waits. Back out. Timonen shot. They score! Timonen the shot. Hartnell was in the vicinity. And the 2-man advantage goal ties the game at 3 as the Flyers score for a case of Tasty Cake. And they'll still have man advantage time to go.
Chalk that one up to the coach. It's outstanding. Difficult to leave Simmons on the bench for that play, but it's a set play that they practice. Brizgalov threw his stick down after the play as the Flyers pick up their 3rd power play goal. You can see the movement here. Outstanding job. No questions asked. They know where the puck's going, and Brizgalov's reaction at the end of the play was a thing of beauty.
Well, Timonen knew it.
We've seen that before, haven't we, Coach?
Oh, my goodness. Like it's scripted.
So now the Flyers, 1:40 remaining on the Petrie penalty, so they can take the lead here. They have 3 power play goals already in the game. Timonen shovels one deep. Nick Schultz ahead. Voracek kept it in. Simmons will steer to the boards. Giroux can't get there though. Nick Schultz up the wall. Perron trying to clear. And he does. Skated to center ice. Turns with it and then finally flings into the Philadelphia zone. Another McDonald's power play payoff contested. Big chance here for the Flyers to take the lead with less than 5 minutes to go in the period. Hartnell will blast the puck in. Simmons tries to go get it. Around behind all the way to the quarter. Hartnell did not get there, and it's sent down the ice by Gordon. Straight. Turned back. 42 seconds remaining. Flyers very deliberate here as Strite wants things just right before moving up. From the red line, he'll blast it in. Schenn check, puck to Downey, turns, lost it. Schenn shot goes wide. The wall, Downey got it back to Meszaros, and back in along it goes to Brayden Schenn. To LeCavalier. Now out to Strite for the shot, and it finds its way into the glove of Brizgalov off the deflection.
Let's take a look at another power back rehabilitation comeback goal. As Drew's going to get the puck back on a 5-on-3 situation, but watch Kimmo Timonen. As he knows what he wants to do, he's just going to be able to wind up, bam, and get that one-timer. Brizgalov can't get to the far side, and Timonen gets our 2nd power back, comeback, rehabilitation goal.
Briz just made another save that he didn't even see the puck. Watch his reaction. He gets tipped in front of him, and Briz catches that and says, look what I got.
Strite unable to keep that puck in the zone. Back to live play, but Meszaros rotated over, got the puck to LeCavalier, who's passed to the line. And now the puck ahead to the Philadelphia line. Missing it is Meszaros. Here's Hall, spinning, knocked down. Crowd wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. And now the Flyers move up. Brayden Schenn slowly through center, hit across the line. And he'll just tip it around behind the net. LeCavalier, ridden by Ferentz. Back to full strength hockey with 3:25 remaining in the 3rd. Coburn for Downey. Downey worked down by Nick Schultz, protects the puck, and then was knocked to the ice. Gets back up, gets knocked down again. And Eberle there. Flyers peel back, and Eberle's pass is to Hall. Hall with A right wing dish back to Eberle. Looked to get it in front, broken up by Grossman. Lecavalier had that puck get away from him out in front, but the Flyers are there, and it's cleared out to center by Downey, and the Flyers trying to make a change here. Eberle will turn the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. Yoensuu and Hall. And the Oilers get to it. Gagne back around behind, but Hall will come up with it. He's going to scoop that one to the neutral zone. Beloff knocks it down. Reed gets to him. Beloff able to keep him from maneuvering into the Edmonton zone. Luke Schenn a spinorama at his own line. And then the right wing feed on the money to Couturier. Couturier holds. Got a second shot off. The first try was blocked. Second one, a weak shot. Brizgalov handled. Now Luke Schenn holds on, spins, dangerous play, and he lost it. Perron on the breakaway. One-on-one with Mason. Mason sprawls across. It stays out. Flyers can't find the puck. Now it's Mazzaros trying to pin Perron. Big play right there. This game stays tied. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the third. Two-man advantage. Scott Hartnell breaks the 9-game goalless drought with a redirection. This game tied, but barely. This game was brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Wells Fargo, when you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. That's beautiful. Edmonton doesn't really look cold, but it is.
It is, and this was a close call here. Luke Schenn turns this puck over. David Perron had the game on his stick here on the breakaway. Goes to the backhand. Mason gets a piece of it. The goalpost gets a lot of it. And the Flyers have a huge close call that goes their way there. And there's Luke to tap the goalie.
Well, Luke comes over in his own little way saying, oh, thank goodness you did that. And one thing you got to learn, and for all the young players watching, you don't want to make that move at the top of the blue line when you're the last guy. Bad things happen, just like you saw.
3 posts here in the third for the Oilers. So while the Flyers, you might say, they've outshot the opponent 36-15. I'd say they deserve a better fate. They also have gotten some breaks here in the third. Here's Giroux moving up, trying to step around Ferentz, but the veteran defenseman would have none of it. Moves it to Hall, but he turns it over to Giroux, who turns, fires wide. Oh, he had Brizgalov leaning, but he missed the target. Now it's Hall to Eberle. And across the line. Eberle stops, changes direction, his centering pass. That was snuffed out by Raffl, who charges up with the puck. Raffl it across the line, tries to dangle, and Ferentz was up to that as well. The puck just slides into Brizgalov.
Well played there by Andrew Ferentz. It was Giroux with an opportunity to try to win this for the Flyers late as he fired a quick wrist shot to the glove side of Ilya Brizgalov. It just missed getting to the back of the net, and Giroux heads to the bench, and the Flyers get a new line out there.
Boy, that was a beautiful shot, too. I was looking right over his shoulder. He let the thing go let that puck go so quickly. It was the release, and he just missed to the left of Brizgalov.
Cavalier just got clipped in front, but no call. And now Reed in neutral zone with some help from Lecavalier, who will go across to Couturier. Backhands it to the Edmonton line, knocked down there. And now they scrum for it. It skips into the Edmonton bench. 57 seconds remaining in the third. Deadlocked at 3.
Both teams have used their timeouts, and Coatsy's on.
Well, let's take a look at a Toyota turning point. 3-2. And then all of a sudden, the opportunity on a 5-on-3 situation. Giroux gets the puck low, draws the defense down a little bit. Timonen lets that shot go, but on its way in, Scotty Hartnell will get a piece of it to tie the hockey game. That's our Toyota turning point.
Grossman ahead here. That's behind Lecavalier. Gobbled up by Nick Schultz and cleared into the Philadelphia zone off a stick. Mason will set it up for Strike. Tries to organize a game-winning rush right here. Simmons tip pass though. Moves through Reed and all the way deep into the Edmonton zone. Oilers ahead, look out, with room. Gagné across the line, the right wing feed. Perron, the shot off the glove of Mason. He's then hit. No penalty called, and back the other way go the Flyers. Mason a little slow getting back up to his skates as the Flyers clear the puck into the Edmonton zone. 9 seconds on the clock. The puck skips out of play off a deflection There'll be a face-off in the neutral zone.
Tough to get the call there after the Flyers had the 5-on-3 opportunity when they end up tying this thing in the third period. But there was a lot of contact on Mason on that chance, and there was a lot of contact with the goalpost in the third period. There's the quick shot from the slot by Sam Gagner, point shot from Petrie, and Perron rings one off the goalpost as well.
And here's that last play, Coatsy.
Yeah, and look with Mason. Look where Mason's stick ends up. Bang! He gets drilled in the left arm, and then the stick's actually sitting underneath him, but he never took his eye off the play. He just very calmly got up and knew that where the puck was going down the other way.
That player was pushed into him some. Regulation time has ended. We need some extra hockey here in Edmonton, as the Flyers and Oilers tied at 3 through 60 minutes of play.
Craig Berube has to be happy with his power play in tonight's game. They end up with 3 power play goals. One of them a 5-on-3 to get the score tied, but it was Simmons that went to work early as Voracek and Giroux set him up for this opportunity. Simmons with the redirection in front, and then Voracek a great cross-crease pass to Simmons for his second, and then Scott Hartnell on the redirection, a Kimmo Timonen shot as the Flyers quickly scored on Brizgalov there, who threw his stick in the air.
So it'll be 4-on-4 overtime. It is the Flyers' second game with 3 power play goals. And 3 in that win in Detroit back in early December. Flyers are 0-1 in games decided in the 5-minute overtime. The Oilers 2-2, but the Oilers, they're a dangerous team in the 4-on-4. They scored 8 goals this year in 4-on-4 situations. They've given up 4, but they've scored 8.
I think that's why Craig Berube was drawing up some situations on the chalkboard there before. And we'll see, take a look at our Mazda top performers in tonight's game. Simmons, of course, with his 3rd straight 2-goal game. Giroux a couple of assists. Voracek also picks up 2 assists. Taylor Hall got the scoring started. David Perron with his team leading 16th, and Ilya Brizgalov has played well in goal.
Each team has a point. One team will get 1 more. Flyers and Oilers have never had a shootout. 5 minutes away from that, perhaps taking place for the first time here tonight. But we'll see. 4-on-4. Andrew Ference to the Philadelphia line. And the swing wide with it. On to Giroux, stick check, but Timonen takes the puck away and gets it to Giroux, who's trying to maneuver ahead with it. Voracek comes over, backhands it right back to the captain. And now Giroux to Coburn. Coburn getting the legs moving. Coburn cutting on in the shot! Brizgalov the save, and he hangs on. That would have been apropos. The guy who had problems and gave up the first goal, Coburn, with the turnover, could have been the hero in overtime.
It was there. It was there. He got the feet moving there. He could have taken another step maybe and fired it blocker side, but Brizgalov makes a save.
Or cut across, but you see the Oilers defenseman come in and take that gap away. But what a heads-up play by Coburn. He acted as the winger. Jumped up in the play. Drew fed him knowing he's in full flight. Heck of a play. Braden Coburn's a pretty good skater, and he took full advantage to be able to cut around.
Flyers win the draw here. Streit sending it in deep. Couturier behind the net. Checked. Reed picks up the puck. Reed all the way out toward the line. Drops it back off for Streit, who sends it down low for Couturier. He's spilled by Petrie. Couturier, great work from his knees to keep that puck alive. Reed comes in after it. And finally it's Petrie who takes a tumble. Crowd wants a penalty. They won't get that. And Perron with a pass to Veloff. Veloff to Perron. And he's in across the Philadelphia line. Swings wide with it. The angle shot saved Mason, but the rebound played by the Oilers. A centering pass, and that tip try by Justin Schultz blocked in front. Justin Schultz does like to join the offensive play. He's had a couple of bids in this game. Couturier waiting for the Flyers to change players. He's heading off ice as well. Mazaros across for LeCavalier. They spin back with it. Spinning again. Now the Flyers look to start up the pass in center for Braden Shen. Braden Shen one-hands it deep into the Edmonton zone, but Justin Schultz is there. They'll get to Ference. Ference checked by LeCavalier. Puck in skates. Braden Shen there to come away with it, but Justin Schultz greeted him. Knocked it to the line, and Mazaros will have to play it across to Luke Shen. Luke Shen diagonal. He's got Braden Shen. The pass to Mazaros tipped away, and the Oilers get it back and lob it out. They've tried this alley-oop before, but in this particular try, Eberle beats the puck into the zone offside.
Good call by the linesman there, as Eberle was a step ahead of that puck, and the Flyers catch a break there as they, as JJ mentioned, used that play on a couple of different occasions that have come close to getting odd man rushes.
They got so much speed. I mean, numerous guys in that forward position with the Edmonton Oilers could skate into that play, Eberle being one of them.
The draw is to the right of Bryzgalov. Flyers get control. Here's Wayne Simmonds, already has two, to team it in for the shot, and then hit a body and bounced wide. Petrie looking for Beloff. Beloff's got lots of room, and he's also got a man wide open, but Eberle couldn't knock that one out of midair. Even he comes back to knock it away from him, and now it's Giroux. Giroux to center ice. Simmonds couldn't hold up long enough, and offside is the call.
Wayne Simmonds had a full head of steam there, didn't want to slow down. Giroux was looking to gain the line with possession of the puck, which is what you want from your center iceman, but Simmonds just couldn't slow down in time.
So Couturier and Voracek will be the two forwards out now. Flyers have not been a very good shootout team. You often wonder if, at least in the second part of the overtime, they might go to three forwards. But for now, it's 2-2. Justin Schultz looking for some room, and he finds Hall to the Philadelphia line, swinging wide. Hall still has it back in front. Justin Schultz couldn't handle that pass. Streit looking to move back. He'll chip it in, and he's got Voracek. Voracek with speed on the right wing. Cuts to the middle of the shot. It's deflected and goes wide. Voracek back to the puck, and he lost it. Nugent Hopkins plays it around Couturier. But Couturier got just a piece of him to slow him down. Could have been called interference, but was not. And now Streit circling and dropping that way back into his zone from Mazaros. And now cross ice for Couturier. With Streit. And now Mazaros. He's just going to punch that deeper into the Edmonton zone. Giroux sealed off, couldn't get there. Perron turned it over to Giroux. Giroux, though, wrapped up. Got it to Lecavalier, who spun that one through the slot, and it leads to a break the other way. Gagne up the right wing. Cuts to the middle, and then it's swept away. Gagne after the puck again. Got it to Perron. Two Flyers over here, and that puck gets out to center ice. If they'd gotten it past the two, obviously they would have had an outnumbered situation, but it went out to center ice instead. 1:05 remaining in the overtime. Beloff to Gagne. Looking for Hemsky, and he's stripped of the puck. Flyers look to move back in transition. Couturier has it. Couturier to the line. Couturier the shot. Save Bryzgalov. And he will cover.
Some good defensive work by Braden Coburn as the Edmonton Oilers had that 3-on-1 opportunity. Coburn kept skating back to the middle of the ice and was able to help break up that play. Here's the Oilers with numbers. Mazaros the only guy back, but Coburn with that great skating ability is able to get there, finds that bouncing puck, and then was able to push that puck out of the zone eventually.
Back in the blue line, before you saw that shot of Coburn getting back, he fought through traffic. He was being held up and did a good job to get back.
Made it a 3-on-2. A 3-on-1 all the way down ice, but at the last moment he got there. Final 40 seconds now of the overtime. Here's Ferentz to the Philadelphia line. Flips one in. Mason's going to glove that, and Ferentz charges at him to make him hang on and get the offensive zone draw for Edmonton.
Oilers will send out Ryan Nugent Hopkins here for this offensive zone face-off. Jordan Eberle heads off the ice, and you'll have two left-handed forwards for the Edmonton Oilers on the ice. The strong side would be the backhand, and Nugent Hopkins will try to beat Giroux on his backhand here.
Flyers get control, goes in on Mason. Streit picks it up there. Streit trying to get away from Hall, and he does. Streit maneuvering on up the right wing feed to Giroux. 23 seconds. Giroux in the middle for Streit, but that one on through. It's played out to center off the linesman, and then Streit played it in the zone. They will not call it an intentional offside. Puck will be dropped in the neutral zone. 16 seconds on the overtime clock.
Do you think Ilya Bryzgalov is looking forward to a shootout opportunity against his old team here? 1-on-1 to make a stand?
I'm not sure, but trying to get into his head is impossible. You just never know what he's thinking.
It makes for great drama, doesn't it?
Flyers win the draw, but Coburn has to go all the way back into his own zone to get it. Goes across ice. And now here's Voracek, 8 seconds, running out of time here. Voracek to the line, Voracek to the circle, turns it back, Giroux, passes to Timonen, and time runs out. Claude Giroux then slamming the puck to the boards, realizes he didn't have enough time to make that pass. And so 65 minutes of hockey, not enough to determine a winner here tonight. We will have a shootout for the first time between the Flyers and the Oilers.
Well, let's take a look at our Bud Light player of the game, and there he is right there. It was 2-0 for the Edmonton Oilers, and all of a sudden we go into the second period, and Simmons, yep, that's where he usually is, right around the net. And he had a couple of great opportunities, but finally he'll redirect this one as the shot came from the point. And then watch this great play by Jake Voracek to get it back out to Simmons. And 2 goals in a row. 2 goals a game, 3 games in a row for Wayne Simmons, which ties a record.
The shootout is next. Bryzgalov faces his former team in one-on-ones after this.
Let's go back and take a look how we got here. And you know what? I don't think maybe a couple of thousand hadn't even sat down where all of a sudden Bray Coburn gets the puck taken off by Taylor Hall. Hall with a nice shot. Left hand right up over the shoulder of Mason. And then a couple of seconds later, well, minutes later, it's Nugent Hopkins makes a nice play on Stride back in the middle with 2-0.
Second period, the Flyers' power play goes to work, and some outstanding passing from Voracek to Giroux, and the tip in by Wayne Simmons gets the Flyers to within 1, and then a power play opportunity comes again, and Wayne Simmons once again delivers with his second of the period. It's a 2-2 tie.
Well, it was 2-2, but then all of a sudden, here come the Edmonton Oilers, and their leading goal scorer. That's right, David Perron. He's going to have the opportunity to try to get that puck out front, but it hits Nicholas Grossman. But the Flyers come back on a 5-on-3. Timonen winds up, lets it go. The redirection in front of Bryzgalov by Hartnell, and that's how we stand heading into the shootout.
Bryzgalov got his stick back to play the rest of regulation and through overtime. Hey, the numbers look good for Briz. 35 saves in this game. But now it's the shootout. His overall numbers. This will be his first shootout as an Edmonton Oiler. As a Flyer in 2 years, he was 4-7 in shootouts. Save percentage for his career in shootouts, you say 37% shooting percentage against him. It's a .626 save percentage, which is not all that good. Steve Mason for the Flyers in his 5th shootout. He's 1-3 with the Flyers. Stopped 9 of 14 shots. Oilers have decided to shoot first. Jordan Eberle will go first. He is perfect this year, 3 for 3. And he's had some experience as a junior player in shootouts. He's very talented. And here we go. Eberle in on Mason. Straight ahead. Deeks and scores.
Mason's going to come way out. Now Eberle is moving with some pretty good speed. Now watch, Mason moves to his right. Eberle stays with it, but with a right-hand shot, his stick is way out to the other side of where Mason's going, and he fires it into the net.
Cavalier will go first for the Flyers. He's 1 for 2 this year. Shootout shot that won the game for the Flyers, who are 1-3 this year in shootouts and 25 and 46 all time. Very deliberately in LeCavalier. Backhander Bryzgalov with a glove save.
Flyers go with LeCavalier, a player that Bryzgalov did not see in practice at least last season, and he comes up with a big save here as LeCavalier goes to the backhand, and Bryzgalov gets the glove on it and keeps it out of the net.
David Perron a chance to give the Oilers a 2-goal lead in the shootout. He's 2 for 3 this year. 29% for his career. And here he goes. Straight on in as well. Save Mason. Had to go 5-hole and wasn't there.
Well, Mason didn't move. He came out, fouled back in. Perron really didn't make a lot of moves. Right here, he's just all of a sudden going to try that 5-hole, and Mason didn't go for it. Stayed right with it.
So Giroux a chance to tie it up for the Flyers. He is 2 for 4. First 3 shootouts, he tried that patented move, which was successful once. Changed it up his last time. See what he has in store for Briz as he swerves on in and scores!
Silky smooth, that's what that is. And boy, is that pretty. Giroux just walks in and fires at 5-hole. It's wide open for him. Bryzgalov can't close it, and Giroux's got the shootout goal.
I would think there's some education with that one. With the amount of time that these guys spend practicing the shootout, you could see Drew made his mind up what he was going to do with that 5-hole.
So Gagne, his first attempt this year. Got to look at his career numbers. Gagne on in. Could not finish it as Mason stayed with him.
Mason did stay with him, Jimmy. That hit it right on the head as Gagne is going to try to drop his shoulder. Then right here, he'll try to go from forehand to backhand and try to catch Mason. But watch Mason. Those who go first lose. And Gagne was the guy that went first.
So Michael Raffl will get his first shot in a shootout and a chance to win the game for the Flyers. The rookie on in, holds, and scores! He waited and he beat Bryzgalov, and the Flyers are winners in Edmonton for the first time in 12 years. The rookie finishes it off, and the Flyers win the hockey game. 4-3 is your final, 2-1 in the shootout.
What a great choice by Craig Berube, another player that Bryzgalov has not seen as a teammate. And Raffl comes up with a terrific move, fakes 5-hole, walks around, and does the old roof job on Bryzgalov. Look at the move there. Around, great patience. Referee doesn't want us to see it, but we got it anyway, and Bryzgalov can't come up with an outstanding move and a great finish for Raffl to take this one on the road. The Flyers find a way to win.
I think the Flyers may have found themselves another player to try in these shootouts. That's a heck of a lot of patience for a rookie.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Bryzgalov there stretches one more time before he leaves the building tonight with a nice L.
Raffl, the winner. The Flyers get this 6-game road trip off on the right foot. A come from behind 4-3 shootout victory. They'll try to make it 2 wins in a row on the trip. 3 wins in a row overall as they travel to Vancouver, take on the Canucks. Monday night our coverage on Comcast Sportsnet begins at 9:30. So Ilya Bryzgalov unable to get a victory in his first game against the Flyers as an Oiler. Flyers win it and now head to Vancouver. For the entire crew, as well as my partners Keith Jones and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson. Good night from Edmonton. It's time now for Flyers Post Game Live presented by McDonald's. Here's John Bork and the gang.